Let's go Mets.
Hal, thank you very much. It is a special field tonight in New York City. The fans have filed in. Last night a sellout, same thing tonight. And they started early today, playing cornhole, watching the flights take off over Citi Field. They hope to see some balls leave the bats off guys like Francisco Lindor, Aaron Judge, etc. Yankees 66-32 as we begin play today. The Mets 60-37. Atlanta chasing the Mets in the East, lose today to the Philadelphia Phillies. Anthony Rizzo in the middle of things last night. Good numbers for DJ LeMahieu against Max Scherzer. And what fireworks to start last night. Aaron Judge and the Yankees, they jumped all over Taijuan Walker. And the Mets were down on the mat, but they got up quick. Some of the new acquisitions this season, including Eduardo Escobar, exit stage left. Unbelievable catch by a fan. And for the folks here, it was a celebration. The trumpets were blaring, and the celebration was on. The New York Mets beat the Yankees in Game 1 of the 2022 Subway Series. As we welcome you to Major League Baseball on ESPN, our telecast is presented by Corona, the official cerveza of Major League Baseball. Good evening. It feels like fall other than the temperature, because these two teams, of course, could very well meet again in October. That's David Cohn, Eduardo Perez. I'm Carl Ravitch. Coney on Scherzer in a moment. How about the superstar hitters from last night trying to do it again tonight? Aaron Judge and Pete Alonso.
Judge set the tone yesterday, did he not? I mean, with the home run going the opposite field, this is what it's all about. And if you're managing against these two guys, these are your circle guys. They can turn it around with one swing. The damage has to be controlled if you are the opposing team, because these are the numbers that they have. The OPS is combined over 1,900. You look at the leadership when it comes to slugging, OPS, home runs, runs batted in. These guys are at the top of the line when it comes to these teams. You have to be able to control them, because if you don't, it could be a long night for you.
Aaron Judge, it feels like he's been hot all year, 8 homers in his last 10 games, and he's currently hit homers in back-to-back games. Hasn't gone 3 in a row. Maybe tonight is the night, and Alonso is warm as well. The pitching matchup is very one-sided. You got Domingo Germán making his second start, missed 93 games with a shoulder impingement. On the other side, a Hall of Famer in Max Scherzer, who happens to be celebrating his 38th birthday. Advantage Mets.
Yeah, and Max Scherzer already, as you said, probably going right to Cooperstown when he's done playing, but he's a long way from being done. The start to his Mets career has been phenomenal. As long as he's healthy, he takes the mound. He does what he's always done. His stuff is not diminished at all. He's a member of the 3,000 strikeout club, but the thing that's notable about that is he's done it in the fewest amount of innings, 26, a little over 2,600 innings already, over 3,000 strikeouts. Nobody's in that category. Max Scherzer going to the Hall of Fame, as we said. And of course, Domingo Germán won 18 games back in 2019, but since then it's been a bevy of arm injuries. Has made 1 start this year. This will be his second start, still looking to see what he can get going.
And they got a start from Jordan Montgomery that didn't last long last night. We'll see what happens tonight with Germán as we get set for first pitch. Telecast of Major League Baseball, presented by Corona, the official cerveza of Major League Baseball. On a night made for Max Scherzer, the Subway Series Game 2 when we come back.
Chance to see these two rivals go head-to-head.
Forget that. That is way, way out of here. That is long gone. Oh,
First Subway Series, 1997. First time these two teams have met in the series history, with both in first place outright. 6th time both teams 10 or more over 500. Then you see the years down below. You can also find out if the Mets have good news coming. Jacob deGrom was on the mound today. Buster only, wasn't he?
Yeah, Carl, we're just 6 days away from the trade deadline. The whole conversation around baseball is which players will the contenders add? Well, the Mets now know they're getting an ace next week. That would be deGrom. who started his for AAA Syracuse today. It was his last rehabilitation assignment. His final pitching line was kind of messy, 4 runs in those 4 innings. But Buck Showalter says he will rejoin the Mets rotation sometime in the middle of next week in that Washington series, Carl.
They get the Marlins first. They're going to have to deal with Sandy Alcantara when that series starts, and then it is the Washington Nationals. And here you go. Max Scherzer signs that deal for $130 million. And as David Cohn said, he's done just about everything in his career except pitch in a Subway Series here at home against the Yankees. Check out the lineup that he's going to face. And, of course, the man in the middle of it is Aaron Judge. There's no Giancarlo Stanton, the tendinitis, and they hope to have him back once the 10 days are up on the IL. LeMahieu's got pretty good numbers against him. Rizzo hit a home run right behind Judge last night. Carpenter is in right field. Donaldson, Hicks in left. Karner Falef is at short, and catching tonight is Kyle Higashioka. All right, Coney, how has Max Scherzer evolved over the years?
Well, I think his overall command has evolved over the years. When he was young, kind of a flamethrower, but he was all over the map in terms of his control, but not anymore. He throws any pitch he wants, anytime he wants. As you can see, that walk rate well below Major League average at 5%, and the K rate at 34%. This guy has not lost a step.
And here's an interesting tidbit. So for the first time tonight, as you take a look at the most strikeouts in baseball history, and we go from 10, Maddox, to 16, Gibson, who he just passed. He and Verlander are slowly going to continue to climb this list. The note is Scherzer's going to use the PitchCom technology tonight. So in his hat, he's got a transmitter that will allow him to hear what pitch is being called. Why do you think tonight, and is there risk in that?
It's the Yankees, of course. Watch out for the Yankees. Now, they may be the one team that might have something, so if you're going to try it, do it here. And, of course, hey, what a nice day. Just a
sure.
Little leisure day, little giraffe pitcher.
Ferris Bueller's day off. Max Scherzer went to the zoo, fed a giraffe. And now the Bronx Zoo is moved here. There are plenty of Yankee fans at Citi Field. As DJ LeMahieu, the first baseman, will settle in. He's 4 for 9 in his career against Scherzer. And behind Max tonight, Escobar at third, Lindor at short, McNeil at second, Alonso at first. First pitch underway, strike 1, says Doug Eddings. Left to right in the outfield, Mark Canha, Brandon Nimmo, and Starling Marte. Ball. 1 ball and a strike.
One of the few guys in Major League Baseball, that's DJ LeMahieu, that actually defenses just play straight up. Hits it where the pitch is located.
And this one to center field. Nimmo now taking a step back and now stops just at the track and he basket catches it. LeMahieu is retired. Now here comes Aaron Judge, having one of the greatest statistical career years, certainly in Yankee history, but in baseball history as well. On his team, he leads them in virtually every category, and it's not close. Hits, runs, homers, RBIs, slugging, OPS, OPS plus, batting average. And what a matchup here early. Scherzer against Judge. Swings at the first one, sends that one deep to right. Marte, though, there's the park, holds it. And Scherzer being helped as Judge swings at the first one.
Tell you what, that was the location where Aaron Judge loves to have it. Middle, up, right out of the get-go. Max Scherzer challenging Aaron Judge, just falling short of that 370 sign in right field.
And he found the sweet spot, just a little too high, the launch angle. Both balls so far over 100 miles an hour off of Max Scherzer. It's a big ballpark.
Anthony Rizzo, the designated hitter. First pitch. Called strike. 94 right on the inside corner. Takes pause, does Rizzo to let Doug Eddings know maybe a little inside for my liking. Huge OPS plus, 36% above the average. Swings at the next one, pops this one up. The PitchCom and Max Scherzer appear to have had a successful top of the first. 6 pitches in the inning, and the Yankees retired at 1-2-3. That's coming up when we come back. Underway on a Wednesday night in New York. 8th They are 5th in runs scored. They don't steal very many bases. Terrific when it comes to getting on base, 5th in baseball. And their pitching staff has really been what's carried them. Nimmo will lead things off. Escobar had the big home run last night. Nido is working with Scherzer. And on the mound is Domingo Germán. He didn't get any swings and misses on his 4-seamer in his last start. His 2-seamer had a little less drop, but this is his 2nd game start. What kind of advancement do you want to see from Germán as a pitching coach?
Yeah, Germán's always had a really good curveball, and that's his swing and miss pitch going back to 2019 when he did win 18 games. And that's probably what I'm looking for today, the spin on that curve.
Oh, that's out.
First pitch, Brandon Nimmo, 263 on the season, leads the team in runs scored. Triples with 5 because he can fly, and walks 37. Kiner Falefa is still on the shortstop side, though right up the middle.
Ball.
Germán falls behind quickly, 2-0. On the grounds, fielded cleanly. LeMahieu is at first. He'll take it himself. And a ground ball out for Nimmo. Tony, you see him, virtually every night. LeMahieu's at first. Glaber second. Kiner Falefa short. Donaldson. The improvement from one year to the next is pretty incredible.
Night and day, considering that the whole left side of the infield is revamped, and Donaldson in particular at third has played a Gold Glove caliber, and really he and LeMahieu combined, when they both have played third base, have been outstanding. Falefa's moved well at shortstop. Glaber Torres back to second base, much better as opposed to shortstop last year.
Starting Marte next up. First pitch. That one is just down. 1 ball, no strikes. He's been terrific in the first inning, has Starling Marte, with a batting average over .570. He had that home run last night.
Well, and let's not forget, when he got traded to Oakland last year in the second half, he turned it on. That's what Buck Showalter is hoping from Starling Marte again here in the second half as a New York Met.
So there's a successful curveball in there for a strike from Germán. 81 miles an hour, 1 ball, 1 strike. Torres is on the shortstop side, so 3 defenders over there.
Ball, that's
comes inside and misses.
Okay, so far 6 pitches for Germán, all fastballs. The 4 of those have been out of the zone. Arm side usual. The only 2 pitches he's been able to land in the zone have been the curveball.
It looks like Germán is not used to the pitch count either, as Higashioka's given signals traditionally.
2-2 count on the 2-hole hitter Marte. Outfield straightaway and deep. Swing and a miss. That's a good pitch from Germán. Down with that sinker at 94. It's early. It just looks different than the last time you saw him, doesn't it?
It really does. I mean, as Eduardo said, this is the first good fastball he's thrown, and that's a dandy. It looked like it was a ball off the plate, ran back to the outside corner. Marte waving at it.
Here comes Francisco Lindor as all the seats begin to fill in here at Citi Field. 42,360 were here last night for a ticket whose average price was $185. And the first pitch to Lindor misses away, ball 1. Frankie, 250, 323, 431, slash line 16, homer 66. Runs batted in. He had a couple of hits last night.
Ball.
Yankee shift against Lindor. Off speed. There you go. In there for a strike.
So 2-0 against Brandon Nimmo. Throws the curveball against Lindor, who is a student of the game. 2-0. Curveball he takes.
Gets the call on the outside corner, if you will. And it evens it up to 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I like the if you will part. Description by you. You're a pro.
Qualifier.
Yes.
The only one that mattered, if you will, was Doug Eddings, and he had as a strike. Lindor was a shining star in one of the Subway Series games last year with the multiple home runs. Not here. Germán, great start. Pulls the string with a changeup at 87. Just what the Yankees needed. The Mets go 1-2-3 as he strikes out Marte and Lindor. Yankees and Mets are on a potential collision course for a Subway Series. Waking up in a city that doesn't sleep, the Yankees are fully loaded. Aaron Judge is the king of the hill, top of the heap, and he's got a lot of others who want to be a part of it. Judge and Stanton lead an offense that scored more runs and hit more homers than any other team in baseball. And their arms, they are making it there in practically anywhere, right through the very heart of every offense that they face. And if Jay-Z is the new Sinatra, well, then the Mets are what dreams are made of. Big lights inspire Buck Showalter and his boys, Scherzer, Lindor, and Diaz. They are loose. They play hard, they play fast and without a care, and there ain't no one else showing up with a polar bear. So now, as the songs say, these little town blues are melting away. It's up to you, New York Yankees. It's up to you, New York Mets. And the table is absolutely set for what should be an outstanding Dog Day month of August, September, and then October. Max Scherzer threw only 6 pitches in the first, fewest of any inning this year, and now it is 1 ball, 1 strike to Gleyber Torres. What happened to all the fireworks you guys had last night here?
Yes.
Quiet first.
It's like a boxing match last night's first inning.
Next one from Scherzer misses. Gleyber Torres, second baseman. 18 doubles, which is tied on the team for high. 15 homers, 43 runs batted in. They play Torres straight up. That's in. Three balls and a strike for Max Scherzer with 196 career wins and a strikeout rate of almost 34% this season. Torres will pop it up. Alonso will go over into foul territory and make the play. Let's send it back to our studio. Wednesday night update, Kevin Connors. Yeah, and that leads to the trade deadline conversation. Thank you, Kevin. You take a look at the standings in the NL East. It is the Mets 2.5 clear of the Braves, who lost. Spencer Strider was crazy good again last night.
He really was. 100-mile-per-hour fastball up in the zone. Gets those chases. The off-speed pitch works just as well.
That guy just throws bazooka balls right at the top of the zone.
The right-handed version of Billy Wagner. He's not a big guy at all, and he can throw seeds. Good pitch from Scherzer, evens up the count against Carpenter. 1 ball, 1 strike, the right fielder for the Yankees. And then he just nailed the fastball at the bottom of the strike zone at 94.
Definitely an old school night. We're going signs on both sides. Nobody wants to use the technology.
As Buster had reported earlier, he said, hey, Max Scherzer's wearing that pitch com. Now maybe he's getting double dose. Got a pitch com and he's getting the signs. Or he tossed it before he got to the mound. He strikes out Carpenter for a strikeout for Scherzer, and we get an update from Buster.
Yeah, Carl, I wondered that too. The person who told me that Scherzer was going to try the PitchCom device for the first time tonight said, well, what's the over-under on how quickly he gets rid of it? Because Max is so famously old school. And as you say, Nito is giving signs to Scherzer so far in this game. He is wearing the PitchCom device on his right leg.
I'll tell you what was old school, that changeup right there. I mean, that was the first changeup he's thrown in the game, and it was a nasty one.
So is he checking boxes, Coney, as a pitcher? I do have that. That worked really well. Working on that one.
Yeah, this guy shows up ready to pitch. His stalking around the mound is definitely on point tonight.
Josh Donaldson next up. And Max Scherzer starting to pound the strike zone against Donaldson. 0-1, 225 on the season. He's got 9 homers. 35 runs batted in. Was that him who just said something? I thought I heard a darn it.
Definitely not Tomas.
Something like darn it.
Something like that, yeah.
My money's on him.
If you think about it, and you've been in a lot of these, World Series, Subway Series, but just Subway Series. This feels like a stage that Max Scherzer would absolutely shine on. Like relish. Can't wait. Circle it on my calendar.
It does. You can say all you want. Ball players will play it down, especially on the Yankee side. Another game, it's not. It's a sold-out crowd. The crowd is into it. Statements are being made. The Mets obviously have the Braves that are closer in their race, but they can really pump up their fan base and feel good about themselves if they can win this game tonight, take 2 from the Yankees.
Scherzer continues to work at a high tempo. And Donaldson ahead 3-1, pops it up. McNeil calls everybody off, and he's there to make the play. Max Scherzer has faced 6, returned them all. Bottom of the second coming up at Citi Field. Here is this week's Sunday Night Baseball matchup. We will be in San Francisco as the Cubs and Giants wrap up a 4-game set at Oracle, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. It's on ESPN Deportes, ESPN Radio. We'll start at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. Baseball tonight, Sunday Night Countdown. As the polar bear on an 80-degree night digs in. As he will lead off the bottom of the second against the 29-year-old Herman. First pitch, 94. Got a lot of movement on that fastball tonight. He's keeping it down. 0-1 to Alonso, who starts tonight leading the majors with 83 runs batted in.
You touched on this, Eduardo. I mean, Alonso's not just a slugger. He's a good hitter. Really developed into a good hitter.
Way inside. Showed that last night, didn't he? On some of those pitches down, the double to the gap and left. But it all started for this guy as a Yankee. I mean, a lot of little leaguers will use different major league teams, but Peter Alonso in 02 was a Yankee. And that ball's hammered to left field. Hicks going back. He turns. It is high off the wall and a homer. It got over the orange stripe and against that screen. Alonso, 26 on the season. It's 1-0 Mets.
How about Pete Alonso? It was Aaron Judge yesterday in his first at-bat that set the tone for the Yankees as the Mets responded quickly. This time it's Pete Alonso in the bottom of the second inning, no one on. And he gets that, a hanger. Hits it out in front, and with the strength of Pete Alonso, he doesn't need to get all of it. Just enough, and that's exactly what it was right there.
Here's Daniel Vogelbach, strike 1. See that yellow line atop the wall. It went over that, hit that screen just above it for Alonso's 26th. Herman misses to Vogelbach, just recently acquired the designated hitter. Trying to add some thump in that role behind Alonso.
Talk about guys hitting balls over 100 miles per hour. Pete Alonso's home run was 97 miles per hour off the bat. You talk about a spinner. It's exactly what it was, but it got pretty much on the label area. Just shows you the strength. 369 feet.
All right, so you go back to that pitch and you're the pitcher. At what point do you say to yourself, uh-oh, like you realize I left this in a spot where I may get hurt?
Think about the point Pete Alonso's eyes opened wide when he recognized that spin. I actually gave up a home run to Nomar Garciaparra, and that exact thing happened to me right before he made contact. I saw his eyes
really
just light up. Pete Alonso's eyes on that one told a story.
I think Nomar saw your eyes light up too when you hung it.
Oh.
Absolutely. He did not miss it either. Neither did Pete.
Vogelbach is obviously a threat to hit it over the wall, but Vogelbach, you mentioned Alonso's a really good hitter. Vogelbach is terrific when it comes to the strike zone. And he's worked a 3-2 count. And how about that? Laid off that. That's what he does really well. Now, as a DH, he'd like to swing a lot and hit it over the wall, but he realizes I can be of value too, like I have been my whole career by getting on, and he draws a walk.
Yeah, he just has a really low swing rate. Takes a lot of pitches, waits for a good pitch to hit. Serves him well in an everyday role when he's getting 4 at bats. As a pinch hitter, a little different story.
And here comes Mark Canha, and we'll just dispense of this right away, because Sunday night when he was wearing the microphone, we got into that question about the pronunciation of his name. He started to explain to us the Portuguese heritage, and it's really Canha, but since we've been in America, our kids have been raised this way. His wife came out and said it's Canha, and that's it. And of course, we're going to abide by whatever Marcy says. So it's now Mark Canha. We're not going to revisit that again. Over, as she said. Ended.
Unless they go to Portugal, right?
Unless they move to Lisbon. Canha followed by McNeil and Escobar. The Mets lead at 1-0 on an Alonso home run.
Wow. That's big time movement there. That's a 93-mile-per-hour pitch that had some really good drop to it.
McNeil has had really good numbers in his career against the Yankees. So 1 on. Canha. 1-2. Gets the called strike.
There's lots of different ways for hitters to object to calls, Eduardo, as you well know. And body language sometimes just tells the umpire all you need to know.
And Buck Showalter was speaking out loud from the Mets dugout as well.
Can you repeat what he said?
Timeout.
Not without being fined by the FCC. No, I think he just yelled at him that the ball was low.
Doug Eddings, a veteran umpire. I'm not sure that the body language, do you think it resonates with the umpire who's been there for a while?
It's the last avenue for major league managers to argue with umpires anymore.
Sure is.
It's the only way they can get thrown out of the game anymore. I mean, because everything else is reviewable for the most part.
Canha elevates this one to left. Hicks is ranging to his left. He will stop on the track and make the play, and getting back to first is Vogelbach. Hit that ball far, but this ballpark holds it. Let's get some numbers on the Alonso home run.
How about Pete Alonso here? 97-mile-per-hour exit velocity. This is the 2nd softest hit home run this season and the 7th softest hit home run of his career. He'll take it one way or another. This is all you talk about, is the power, the strength. Hits the railing right above the orange line, and that's just enough to give some massive gut punch.
Yeah, that's the one spot at Citi Field when they moved in the fences that you can really take advantage of right there. You look behind, that big black wall used to be where you had to hit it for a homer.
McNeil swings and misses at a curveball. Jeff McNeil has played 17 games against the Yankees. He's got a hit in 15 of them, and he's got a .381 batting average against the Yanks.
Timeout.
You mentioned the idea that a manager, the last bastion of his ability to get out there and just air it out with an umpire. Aaron Boone's been thrown out 5 times this year. Most of them have been arguing for Aaron Judge strike calls and the ball being low. Buck Showalter hasn't been thrown out once this season. And McNeil to right, hangs up. Vogelbach trying to get back. A nice catch by Matt Carpenter. Quickly back to Kevin in the studio for an update. There's some Rowdy Tellez and Daniel Vogelbach and vice versa. That's the kind of stuff that the Mets are hoping Vogelbach can bring. And Tellez has had some real peaks and a few valleys this year. And how about the New York Yankees now with Eduardo Escobar up They have gone to a 4 outfielder defense. Vermont throws it in there for strike 1. So 4 outfielders on the 20th pitch of the inning from Herman.
Gleyber Torres on the far left, guarding the line almost.
They're trying to hide him over there.
Well, he did have a play in Baltimore where they had him over in the towards the gap and wearing that second baseman's glove. Kind of missed a ball close to the wall. It was not an easy play. We see Gleyber there.
Is Escobar notoriously a fly ball hitter? Why 4 outfielders with Eduardo Escobar?
The algorithm never lies, Carl. Has to be the reason. Probably different from the left side than the right side.
Can I throw out that theory, guys?
Yes.
How about the fact he doesn't hit a lot of home runs, right? So if you're basically guarding against a double in this situation, put 4 outfielders out there, what do you think?
That's part of it.
Play the no doubles with 2 outs.
Had the homer from the right side last night. Herman elevates, and it worked. Got in the head of Escobar, the 4 outfielders. Nothing got in the head of that guy. Pete Alonso. It was a double last night, and it was a homer night to get things rolling. It's the Mets 1, the Yankees nothing. Scherzer back in the bump after this. Time to shine. It's brought to you by Mother's Polish, and it involves that guy on the mound. Best winning percentage in baseball, having debuted in 61 or later. Kershaw at .691. Then the great Pedro Martinez, the Hall of Famer. Max Scherzer just slides ahead of Roy Halladay and the Rocket Roger Clemens. And they got him for $130 million for 3. As Buster reported, if you didn't see it at the top, Jacob deGrom had his last minor league outing and is expected to join the major league team for a series against the Nationals, and then the Mets would have what they had dreamed when the season began of deGrom and Scherzer pitching at the same time.
That's a rotation that's built to win right now, and a nightmare in a short series for any team.
Aaron Hicks into the bat, chasing it is McNeil, coming in from center, and nobody's going to get it. Nimmo couldn't get there. Aaron Hicks, who in his last 2 games has been much better, and in fact 333 with 3 homers in his last 20 games, gets things started with a single. And quickly, just back to the Buster comment as we take a look at this ball from Hicks that McNeil couldn't get. The 4 outfielder deal was, if you look at the numbers, about a 30% fly ball rate career, but up to 35% for Eduardo Escobar. And the no doubles thing makes a lot of sense with Vogelback at first, but he does hit more fly balls this year than anything else. And it's changed dramatically because in 2020 he was a ground ball guy at 38%, fly ball about 27%.
One of the first 4-seam fastballs that Herman has thrown tonight to finish off Escobar. To either get him to swing and miss or hit it in the air.
Kind of Falefa.
No, he did.
Eddings calls it himself. No need to check with the umpire on the swing. It's 0-2.
So I know win-loss records and pitchers in particular has kind of been diminished in terms of assessing value, but when you're almost 100 games over 500, it means something. As Scherzer is approaching that.
Well, a foul ball. Kind of Falefa didn't even move to suggest that might have hit him. And even the sound up here in the press box through the headsets. If that were boned, we'd have real problems.
Well, that's what happens right there when he throws the 2 sliders down and away, and then you're thinking slider again. Comes up and in with the fastball. Let's see what Mets goes with here.
Oh, that's outside.
Close, but he missed.
Looked like Isaiah was sitting slider, and he was fortunate that that fastball was out of the zone. Anything in the zone looked like it would have been called strike 3.
Popped up, and again shallow. This time Nimmo is in time.
Well, with Scherzer, it's not just stuff, which he has excellent stuff, but it's also the timing mechanism that he can throw off with his repertoire. And you look the differential at the arrival times. The front one's LaGuardia Airport, the second one's JFK, and then all the way back here, Chicago O'Hare with the curveball.
Where's Newark?
Scherzer has gotten all sorts of balls tonight to be hit up in the air for outs. There has been a strikeout, and everything else has been in the air.
Hey guys, an update on the pitch comm. I noticed before Higgy stepped into the box, Nito actually used the pitch comm to communicate with Scherzer, and then he bent down into a crouch, and now he's giving signs the way catchers usually gave him in the past.
And remember, you can record anything you want on that pitch comm, so not necessarily it has to be that pitch. It could be a game plan or something else that Nito and Scherzer just want to be able to communicate with each other.
I mean, like literally just sending text messages through
times with the runner at first base.
I think what we saw in the All-Star game is the future with Nestor Cortez and
100%.
Trevino. Talk to each other. Let the pitcher have the control.
0-2 to Higashioka. Throw behind the runner, and he nearly got Hicks. I was in the clubhouse and I saw Trevino, and I just said that was so great, and he loved it. He said, by the way, if you need me anytime to do things like that, so you take a look at Hicks. Close, but he did say, I was a little worried at one point that the batter was hearing what I was saying, and obviously in a regular season game or playoff game you've got no chance, but he did have that in his mind as he and Cortez were going back and forth. Higashioka, right center field and shallow. Nimmo coming, so is Marte. Marte slides and makes a nice play. I think Nimmo got a great read on that. Marte charged from right field to make the play.
And I wonder if Nimmo had lost the baseball once he went towards it, because it just seemed like he was going to be the one that was going to catch this. Comes in, he gives up, he looks over to Marte, and Marte just turned it on with the afterburners.
Marte, a center fielder, playing right field for the Mets. Tremendous range.
He's been really good. He took the All-Star game off, even though he was there. And by the way, very active when it came to Pete Alonso and the home run derby and cheering. I mean, he was as active as anybody, but he didn't play. And since they've come back and he's come back from that injury, he's been outstanding.
Told me he had so much fun to be able to spend time with his kids there on the field, something that it's been time consuming, obviously. A couple years ago he had lost his wife.
Yeah.
So it's all in with grandma and his aunt and himself.
And so
Raising
rare.
4 beautiful kids.
Right, so rare during a season to be able to have that opportunity for that period of time. They were all out on the field enjoying it as well. As LeMahieu was behind 0-1. And this ball's up the middle on a line. It's going to get down. Hicks will stop there as Nimmo fires it back in. DJ LeMahieu about face the Scherzer pitch, and the Yankees with Aaron Judge coming to the plate got a little something brewing. Pete Alonso made the first statement. Is Aaron Judge ready to make the next statement? Crowd very aware of this matchup and who's at the plate.
Last at bat, it was Aaron Judge seeing one pitch, and it was a fastball against Max Scherzer with no one on. This time 2 runners on. Max, these are high leverage situation and pitches for Max. Going to the slider, first pitch.
You got Aaron.
Third inning, it's 1-0, and it feels like the 8th or 9th inning.
Yeah, the dueling banjos going between let's go Mets and let's go Yankees.
Ball that's down.
It was down. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's a great take.
That's what I remember of the first Subway Series in 1997 was that effect where there's half fans on each side, in particular Yankee Stadium, with this going on. Back and forth.
Just a couple of RBI shy of Alonso. For the Major League lead is Judge. Alonso already with a homer. Swing and a miss on another tight slider from Max Scherzer.
Max knows one thing. He cannot give in here. Aaron Judge with 2 strikes since the start of last season, 30 home runs.
Judge is 2 for 7 in his career with a double and 3 strikeouts against Scherzer. He flew out to right his first time up on the 1-2.
Ball that's down.
That was down, looked a lot better up here, but the changeup was below the strike zone. It's 2-2.
How about his 2 takes already for balls to even up the count?
Well, that's the book on Judge. The one pitch he has had trouble with was that particular pitch, the changeup, especially righty on righty. And you're right, Eduardo. Taking it was outstanding.
Got a pitching machine underneath Yankee Stadium, though, that he can crank up to 100 and just bury sliders against him as he continues to work on hitting not only the off speed, but the breaking stuff. 2-2, 2 on, 2 down. Got him, swing to the crowd. Rooting for the Mets loves to see that. Max Scherzer picks up his 2nd strikeout, and he wins that battle. 2 men left stranded.
Well, when the tough comes up, Scherzer gets even better with high quality sliders.
ESPN's telecast of Major League Baseball, presented by Corona, is brought to you by Arby's. Arby's, we have the meats. We also have the managers that have managed both the Yankees and the Mets. Stangl Berra, Dallas Green, Joe Torre, and of course, Buck Showalter. Various World Series, all 10 of them with the Yankees. But Yogi, 21 World Series, 75 World Series games. I mean, think about that for 2 guys that played. Level of success that he had, the level of excitement come October. I mean, that's nuts. These 2 teams certainly think they have the wherewithal to get to October and win World Series.
Well, the famous home run that Bill Mazeroski hit the Pittsburgh Pirates that beat the Yankees in the World Series. Yogi Berra was the one playing left field, actually, that saw that ball travel over the wall.
Left field, Hicks going back. He's not going to be able to get that. How about Thomas Nido into second? He's there with the double. And that exploded off his bat.
Any production you get from the bottom of the order is a plus for Buck Showalter. Gets a fastball that was supposed to be away, ends up getting too much of the plate. Tomas Nido, it's a good leg work behind it, stays in the zone. In the outfield playing him to go the other way. This one in the gap. Aaron Hicks is not able to get there. Now in runners in scoring position with no outs.
Yeah, back to the top of the order with Nimmo and then Marte, Lindor. Chance for the Yankees. Donaldson is way in on the grass. And Mayhew just on the edge of it.
A little surprised that they're playing this close in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Brandon Nimmo looks like they're having issues with the pitch count.
Well, they work on that. Let's send it to Kevin Connors in the studio. Go ahead, Kev.
Next Monday, we're going to have the Astros and Red Sox. Buster, quickly, what are the Red Sox going to look like on
Well,
Monday?
Sam Kennedy, their team president, Hein Bloom, head of baseball operations, told reporters yesterday, we haven't thought about trading Xander Bogaerts. We haven't thought about trading Rafael Devers. Other teams say they are talking about J.D. Martinez.
Well, if that's the case, then the Mets would probably be one of the teams interested. Is Nimmo down the right field line, and that's foul. Right, I mean, they're looking for a bat. J.D. Davis has been the DH here. They bring in Vogelbach, but boy, how would J.D. Martinez be in a lineup?
Yeah, DHs are in vogue, and both leagues have the DH now this year.
Leadoff double for Nito. It was his 6th double of the year. Nimmo now with nobody out. He got jammed. That's on the infield. Donaldson is there. And an easy one. Good job by Herman to get a big out.
Yeah, you could say great job by Herman right there. And Brandon Nimmo's one job was to move that man that you see on the screen to third base with no outs. You know, he's going back to the dugout upset that he fell right in the Herman trap.
And here's Starling Marte. Leads the team in batting average. Alonso's the guy that gets the headlines with the homers and RBIs, but just under 300 when the night began. Marte, in the first pitch, lifts the arms up for ball 1.
I love his style of hitting, Eduardo. Just lift up the heel, no stride.
And that's really hard and difficult to do. And I've had conversations with Chili Davis, who, when he got to the big leagues, he used to run really well. Then when he slowed down, he said he would have better leg control, meaning it would translate into actually better consistency at the plate. The faster the runner is, the faster your twitch muscles are when you're hitting. Starling Marte has been able to control his bottom half really well and be a consistent hitter the last few years.
Yeah, his whole timing mechanism just in his front heel. Lift it up, drop it back down, and then fire.
So many batters have that leg kick. And planting and driving as Marte pulls that one foul. The key. Herman in his first start, 3 innings, 5 runs against Houston. He gave up back-to-back shots to Jordan and then Alex Bregman. At what point do you start judging and saying, you know what, there's some growth here. I'm seeing an improvement. When do you do that? How many innings do you need to see?
He's already much better in his second start here, and you really do need to be patient. This guy's been out a long time. He's had some arm issues. He's had problems off the field as well. Domestic abuse issues.
That's impressive. How about coming back after the leadoff double to get the next 2, including the strikeout of Marte, who's 0 for 2 with punch-outs both times.
But this is the pitch that I key on, because that's a separator for Domingo Herman. I mean, he can throw that high-spin curveball and get those kind of swings on it. Everything else kind of falls into place for him.
8 swings and misses tonight for Herman. We mentioned no swings and misses on a 4-seamer his last start. Here's Lindor. Nito is still at second base, having led off with a double. This was the moment that Francisco Lindor embraced the Subway Series. The Met fans said, we get something special. He went yard not once, not twice. But while he was talking, he was also doing damage. 3 bombs in that game. And he was in the middle of a lot of stuff last year in the Subway Series. That's down.
I still don't think the Mets fan base has seen the best from Lindor yet. Those who saw him in Cleveland or played against him in Cleveland know this. Still, really solid year run production-wise in terms of homers and RBIs. Much better at defense at short this year as opposed to last as well. But he's got more in the tank to give.
I think when they went out and they ended up getting Starling Marte, they went out, got Mark Canha and Eduardo Escobar, just eased the situation. And by the way, Max Scherzer also helps.
Lindor towards the seats. Donaldson's over there, but he's got no chance. And Herman battled back. The leadoff double by Nido, and now ahead 1-2 against Lindor with Alonso on deck.
I love what he's doing with Lindor so far. Last at bat did not show Francisco a fastball. So far has shown 2 fastballs and curveball. It was mostly changeups and curveballs. First time when he got them out via the strikeout.
Timeout. One of the things Lindor struggled with last year was hitting the ball over the wall on fastballs. He only had 10 homers on fastballs. Now he's increased that this year by a couple, 12 on fastballs. But I think you're right, Cody. There was an electricity about Lindor, and we saw it with a 3-homer game, but certainly in Cleveland. There's a 100-watt guy. Feels like it's down around 75.
It's the reason why he got that big contract.
Right. 2-2. That one is to right. Will it get down? It will, in front of Carpenter. Rounding third. Not a great arm from Carpenter. An RBI for Lindor. It's 2-zip as he plates Nido with 2 down. A big 2-out, 2-strike hit, and an RBI for Francisco Lindor.
It's exactly what you're supposed to do with 2 strikes. Just protect. Ends up getting an 81-mile-per-hour curveball. That was borderline, and Francisco did not miss it. Hit it off the end of the bat, broke his bat. But what I loved about all of this was he understands who's at second base. It's Tomas Nido. A lot of runners end up trying to go to second to get this ball cut. He knows also who's in right field. Matt Carpenter, not a strong arm. He knows Tomas Nido with a secondary lead that he should get. Ends up scoring easily. He stays at first, and now he's in scoring position, even at first base, with Pete Alonso at the plate.
Alonso a home run, his first time up, 26th of the year. Oh, that's it. Herman works inside off the plate, ball 1. Alonso's now got 9 hits in his last 10 games. He's well over 590 as a batting average in his last 5 games. And on this homestand, he's got an OPS creeping towards 2,000. Popped up high, Higashioka. And LeMahieu, and it's LeMahieu. Alonso retired. Herman's been very good, especially with his strike throwing ability. It's still the Mets now, 2-zip through 3 at Citi Field.
Yankees 2-0. One of the runs from Pete Alonso. Buck, what distinguishes his power from that of other home run hitters?
Well, there's an old expression, country strong. You know, Pete, he knows who he is. And I tell you, he's a good hitter, too. A lot of people think he's just a guy that collides with the ball. He's not a collision hitter. He's a guy that's got a feel for hitting. He'll hit a ball the other way. And you see those type of RBI totals, you know he does more than just hit home runs.
Now, you told us before the game that in the dugout, Max talks with his eyes. What did you mean?
Stand right here, you'll know what I'm talking about. No, it's a great communication. He's an honor to manage because you just kind of follow his lead. He's earned that, and he's shown you a great body of work by doing it. So it's about trusting players, and he's easy to trust.
Buck, thanks. Carl, back to you.
All right, Buster, thank you very much. Showalter's team up 2-zip, and Scherzer ahead of Rizzo 0-2. Talk game planning, Cody. When you went into a game, your game plan, and how exact a science was it? Did you have something on every hitter and the way to execute? Because it strikes you, watch Scherzer first pitch, breaking ball right over the heart of the plate, which means he's thinking along or ahead of Rizzo, who hits this to center, and Nimmo will make the play. Talk about game planning for Scherzer.
With a guy like Max Scherzer, there has to be a balance because there's so much information nowadays. He can get as much as he needs or wants, but sometimes that takes away from your own strengths, and you pitch in a defensive manner. And with Max Scherzer, that's exactly the opposite of the way he goes about it. He's going to pitch to his strengths and make the hitters adjust to him.
You think because he's a veteran and has done this so long and has had such great success as he gets ready to throw to Torres, he can edit what he wants. Like, I thank you. That's a little more than I need, or I appreciate that. Now let me do with it what I want to do. Whereas opposed to a younger pitcher, a Bassett, a Tyler McGill may do something different with it.
It's a great way to put it. Yes, Max Scherzer has veto power, as Buck Showalter put it that way. Now, we saw earlier, though, that he's definitely got some information trying to attack Judge with a changeup that Judge took, and that's definitely coming from the scouting reports on what Judge hits and what he's had trouble with.
Torres to right. Marte will stop and watch it go into a hand of a fan.
Something unusual I've seen in this game, guys, between batters, you'll see Tomas Nido pull out a card from his back pocket and take a look at it. Kind of wonder if he's reading from some of the notes that Scherzer gave him before the game.
I would say 100% on that.
Liner caught. Eduardo Escobar got a good read. It was not hit very hard, just 83 miles an hour off the bat. And a big smile from Escobar at third as he takes away a hit from Torres.
Yeah, off-speed pitch and pump back line drive. Easy snag for Escobar.
Here's the other number so far on Scherzer for those watching at home. We're got 2 outs in the 4th inning, 46 pitches. There's yet to be a ground ball out report. Everything has either been in the air or just there on a line. What does that tell you?
It tells me his stuff's pretty good.
Maybe another one. No one's there, though, and it's the left fielder coming hard. He now puts the brakes on, and Mark Canha there. Max Scherzer slicing through him. 9 pitches this inning. He had 6 in the first. Carl Ravage. Keep up with the show wherever you are. Follow at MLB on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube so you don't miss a thing in 2022. Bottom of the 4th inning, Vogelbach. First pitch, a little high, ball 1. For the big fella, Vogelbach. Seems like Buck Showalter's just obsessed. Like he talks about Vogelbach and the size of him and the size of his back. And apparently the Mets give out a belt or something after each game, and Vogie was the one that got it recently. And as a result of getting the belt, then you have to dance. Is that, as I understand it?
Yes.
In the clubhouse. Hit this thing on a line right in front of Aaron Judge. That jumped off his bat at 106 miles an hour. We'll send it back to Kevin in the studio. Yeah, that's a name we're going to hear a lot about with the Marlins, J.J. Bleday. There's a bunch of Marlins who are going to eventually become household names, and he is one of them, the former Vanderbilt outfielder. Here's Mark Canha. That's a strike. So 2nd inning, Alonso leads off with a homer. 3rd inning, Nido leads off with a double. 4th inning, Vogelbach leads off with a single. Dangerous recipe for a pitcher to have the leadoff man aboard. Canha hit it hard last time and deep to left field. I want to show you something in between innings. Scherzer and Nido had an interesting exchange. What are you gleaning from this? Because it's pretty intense, which is how Max is.
Well, we talked about it, and Buster clued us in on, signal calling. Are they using the pitch com? Are they not? Is it just a man on second base when they try to use it? Kind of hard to say. Maybe it looks more like
that's out.
Call the pitch this way. If I shake you off, stay with it.
One thing that everyone knows, that when you play with Max Scherzer and the day he's pitching, just get out of his way. Don't try to give him a high five, conversations or anything, because that's something you might get right there. But I'm with you on this. It looked like it was more about the signal calling, and be adamant about one of the pitches that you want me to throw.
That one misses. Just some numbers on Scherzer since the start of 2020. When he has a 2 or greater run lead, his teams are 27-4. So obviously with what he's doing tonight and the early lead, it would portend for good things for the Mets. Leadoff man on for Canha and a 3-1 count. Mon took something off that.
3-2.
Forced it down the middle to go 3-2. McNeil followed by Escobar. The other part of this atmosphere, and last night was a little different given the runs and the blows that were delivered in the first couple of innings, but a lot of these Mets have never experienced a Subway Series. Alonso hadn't experienced a playoff. Slow roller to third. Donaldson bare hands, throws, safe. Great effort by Donaldson. Canha poured it to the first base umpire. Berto Ortiz beat it out.
Excellent play by Josh Donaldson at third base. It was the only opportunity he had was to try to bare hand this one and make a strong throw. He accomplished both. Now Canha can get down the line, and right here he beats this throw. That last lunge hitting the front part of the bag. Not only was Ortiz making the right call, but it seemed like the rest of the Mets dugout was making the right call as well.
Got down the line at 4.4 seconds, about 28 feet per second. So outstanding running, and now dangerous spot here for Germán. 2 men on, nobody out, and Jeff McNeil.
A little surprised LeMahieu's playing this in at first.
McNeil towards the line and left. Foul ball.
Got both corners in with no outs, runners at first and second. Mets are up 2. But with Vogelbach at second base, you just do not think that Buck Showalter would put the bunt play on with not a lot of speed at second.
McNeil snapped an 0 for 19 stretch with an RBI last night in the 8th inning. At one point he felt like he'd never get another hit.
Oh, no.
So then he did.
And then what happened?
So it's a pretty cool story, and you can piggyback on this one, Buster, but Jeff McNeil told the skipper, Buck Showalter, said, man, I don't know. He goes, hey, you might not win it with your bat, but you can win it with your glove. He goes, I don't know, Skip. He goes, give me your bat. He rubbed it, ended up getting a hit. When Buck came back from the presser, all of McNeil's bats, all of his bats and the bat bag were actually in Buck's office, and he said, why don't you rub all of these as well?
That's what it looked like in Showalter's office just about an hour before the game.
They're all there. No knobs on each one of them. I've said it before. It's the Clemente model that Jeff McNeil uses.
It's not very superstitious, no.
No. No one in baseball needs a manager to rub the bat. That's outside.
If you're going to be superstitious, a lot of former Mets have been superstitious in the past, starting with Turk Wendell.
Really good numbers with runners in scoring position for McNeil, a .333 average. Twice what he had done last year. Got a chance here with Vogelbach at second, Canha at first. Already 2-zip. Bottom of the 4th, the next one. In the center field. Judge is there, and there's no chance for Vogelbach to advance. There's one down.
Want more stats? Just ask Siri who leads MLB in home runs.
'99's all over the place here in the midst of Citi Field, where a lot of Met uniforms are. Judge, the major league leader in homers. As Eduardo Escobar steps in, did you have superstitions, Coney?
I was sort of the anti-superstitious guy. I didn't like to be a slave to superstitions.
But when I lost 10 games in a row, I started wearing puka shells one year, so I was trying everything. Magic puka shells.
Did they work?
They did, actually.
Did you snap the streak?
I did snap the streak.
Puka shells.
Yes.
Kirk Wendell have what, shark teeth or something?
Yeah, he had the shark teeth that were around his neck.
Well, he had licorice. He would brush his teeth, wouldn't step on the line, would hop and skip over the line.
Escobar hit that homer last night, and he said the environment was unbelievable. He said he felt like it was the first big league home run that he ever hit. That's the type of buoyancy they got from the crowd, having the Yankees in town.
So it's amazing how hitters lean on their bats so much. Eduardo Escobar, before the game, got a boatload of bats that he had in his bat bag and hit the ball out. And if you see the catch there in left field by the fan, but most importantly, he said, from now on, I'm using those models from that home run. And the other ones, he just put them away.
Did any team try to find out who made that catch and at the trade deadline try to acquire that guy? Swing and a miss. Did you see that live when you were doing the game? Because I saw it. I was texting Andy Jacobson, our producer. I said, did you see that catch? It was kind of glossed over. I'm not sure. And then you started to see it on social media.
A good-looking changeup from Herman. And yes, and Carl, to your point, on social media, the guy had a Yankee hat and a Met jersey.
Yes, he did. They're meeting on the mound. Ken is quiet. You know how hard this ball was? Over 100 miles an hour off the bat of Eduardo Escobar. And I believe there's a glass of something in the right hand. He holds on to that without any issue. Look at everybody pointing at that dude. That's a big guy out there.
That is. Good hops. Is that a 47? Is that a Jesse Orozco jersey?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The old racing stripes, the 1986 unit.
Yeah.
Thomas Nido doubled and scored his first time up, prompted a quick meeting with Matt Blake and Herman. Higashioka. A single, and now 2 outs. Herman try to navigate through Nido, and he rolls one to third. That's foul. Big 2-out hit from Lindor last inning. The RBI, the 67th of the year.
Love that pitch right there by Herman. It speeds up the bat of Tomas Nido, who last time up ended up hitting a double into the left center gap on a fastball away.
Herman ready. Off his foot. So with Nido with the plate, I mean, this is rumor time too. Buster, Jeff Passan, all of our insiders, Tim Kirkshin. One of the things that kind of cropped up was maybe Wilson Contreras, Dave Robertson package. Get a little more offense here. They have just gotten nothing from McCann, Nido. Their OPS by catchers single season in Mets history. It's at least why you look. And they got a kid down in the minors who is likely going to be an offensive star. And if we ever get to an automated strike zone, as Buck said, Alvarez will be up here tomorrow. We don't have that yet. Nido is gone. They will strand 2. It's a good job by Herman.
You deployed a 4-man outfield against Eduardo Escobar. Can you give us your rationale?
We think he's inclined to hit the ball a little more in the air in that situation. 2 outs, just trying to prevent some kind of, if he does get the ball in the air, that extra base, allow him to score that run.
All right, what kind of unique challenge does Max Scherzer present for your hitters tonight? What do they have to do?
Obviously, he's one of the game's best, and mixes his pitches incredibly well. Great secondary, can kind of step on a heater when he needs to. And obviously just all kinds of experience that allows him to do a lot of different things and get you out some different ways. So we got to keep plugging away. Feel like we've had some decent at-bats. We've gotten some good swings off on him. We just missed some to the outfield, but so far he's ahead of us.
Booney, thanks. Carl, back to you.
Donaldson up first, and there's one that will bend your knees. 85 after he missed badly with a slider. It's now 1 ball, 1 strike. Donaldson, Hicks, Kiner, Falefa in the 5th inning. Max Scherzer working quickly and working very effectively. This is what an ace does, isn't it, Tony? You come out here and you just kind of silence one of the best offenses we've seen in a long time. Again, no Giancarlo Stanton. Donaldson, that's towards the gap. Going over is Nimmo. He's not going to get there. Rings off the wall. Here's the throw in. Donaldson holds the bag with his right hand. What a job, Josh Donaldson. He was flying into second, and he grabbed that and would not let go of the bag. And it's a leadoff double for Donaldson.
A lot of nice things happening in this play. One, the solid contact of Josh Donaldson, not trying to do too much with it. Pitched up and away, he goes up and away with it, and then he realizes this ball could stay in the ballpark. Brandon Nimmo doing a great job of getting it back to Francisco Lindor. Lindor not allowing that ball to travel as much probably cost him the assist, but because of it, the great slide by Donaldson on the inside part of the bag and sticking the landing as well.
Here's Aaron Hicks. First pitch misses from Scherzer at 74.
Look at the last angle of that play.
Yep.
And Lindor had to come out to go get it.
Way inside. That's 2 balls, no strikes.
Yeah, I mean, in this part of the ballpark at Citi Field, that's it's hard to leave there, but the metrics tell you that in 9 out of 30 parks, that would have been gone. 107.4 miles an hour off the bat, just absolutely blistered by Donaldson.
Hicks swings at that 1-2-0, and he fouls it off. That was the first 2-0 count for Scherzer. You gotta be careful. You gotta pop a shoulder the way that Donaldson was flying in the second, then grab that bag. And we saw it on Sunday night. Remember, Lindor held that glove on Ruiz, the rookie, and he popped off the bag with his foot for what was at that point a pretty big out. Hicks, that's sky high and foul.
You know, we talk about Max Scherzer and his ability to throw a slider for strikes and then also miss with it and get strikeouts with it. And it's sort of the same thing as a hitter with runners in scoring position. He gets tougher with runners in scoring position. So right here in this spot, nobody out, 2-2. This is when he really knuckles down and makes his best pitches.
McNeil's on the outfield grass. Lindor just up the middle as Hicks fouls that straight back on a 96-mile-an-hour four-seamer.
Yeah, there's an art to leaving him out there. Scherzer adding a couple of miles of velocity when he needs it right there up in the zone. Maybe his fastest fastball right there in 96.
That's what Aaron Boone had alluded to. There's 2 strikeouts tonight for Max Scherzer. Leadoff double for Donaldson. And the 2-2 to Hicks. Will not offer. That's a good take, and we go full.
Yeah. Nasty slider at 89. Hicks spits on it. The 7th pitch of the at-bat coming here, and a good one by Hicks, who can do that and has progressively gotten better this year.
Multiple hits for Hicks his last 2 games started. Six home runs, 30 runs batted in on the year for Aaron Hicks, the left fielder for the Yankees tonight. Swing and a miss. He buries a slider. That's the same pitch Hicks took the last time. He swings at that.
What's the name of the game? Do you got one you can get over for a strike? Maybe a little curveball, spin it in there, get a lot of the plate. Yeah, they're taken early in the count, but then when you need to bury it and the high quality ones, here they come. A little tighter, a little quicker, much better located.
Yankees are 0 for 10 in this quick 2-game series, and there is a slider in there at 84 for strike 1 to get ahead of Kiner Falefa.
And guys, with Josh Donaldson at second base, you're now seeing your Scherzer use the pitch com.
Yeah, great point. There's Nito's hand sending the signal to the receiver, and Scherzer's hat laid on that one. That was 95, and he's ahead of the shortstop 0-2. Really see a pitcher bearing down after a leadoff double here in Scherzer. Max missed 7 weeks with the oblique strain. 4 starts since his return. A 1.78 ERA.
Timeout.
Donaldson, big lead off second. Swing and a miss. Another filthy slider. Back-to-back punch-outs of Hicks and Kiner-Falefa.
Well, Scherzer's got a breaking ball package he can come at you with. A curveball, a slider, and a cutter. And this is kind of in the middle with the slider at 85 miles an hour. A little bigger break. Kiner-Falefa just waving at it. The unique release point from Scherzer, too, as well. Very deceptive.
Max Scherzer needs 5 to catch Pedro for most strikeouts in his first 13 starts with the New York Mets. And now Higashioka.
Oh, no, timeout.
You're right, Conan. He just varies the speed, he varies the angle, he varies the arm angle. Very few of them look the same.
Yeah, and the intent as well. It's kind of like a goal line package in football when you get in the red zone. When Max Scherzer gets in his red zone with 2 strikes, he's got some weapons.
Pitching coach or offensive coordinator in the NFL? What would you prefer? You like the red zone offense? Is that
red zone offense?
You love that, yeah?
Yes.
Are you a runner every time, or are you going to?
Oh no, you
tight end.
You got to mix it up.
Quarterback option.
Everything's on the table. More weapons, the better.
Sort of like Scherzer, right?
Behind 2-0 to the 9-hitter.
That's what makes him different than anybody else. The ability to do that. 2-0. Not only he'll throw the slider, but he'll take more off it as well. You're geared up for the number 1. You think you've worked the count as a hitter, and then he pulls that out on you.
Oh, that's out.
That did not miss, but it's by much a 3-1 count. What's the percentage of slider versus other pitchers tonight for Max?
Well, I think his best secondary pitch is his slider. And then his changeup, curveball, and cutter are kind of even Steven. But we saw that, he can tighten up that cutter for lefties. That's what he got Hicks on, 89 miles an hour. I think he kind of saves that cutter for lefties more down and in.
What will he go with on a 3-1? Fastball 3-2. So it's about 45% four-seam fastball, 30% slider so far.
Yeah, that's the number 1 and number 2.
Yep.
But the variance in speeds as well, all the way down to 73 miles an hour on the low end with a curveball.
Be careful with the changeup. Be careful with the slider or even the heater. That's the dilemma you have facing that man there.
Donaldson goes 3-2, and Higashioka fouls it off. What do you respect, Coach, about Scherzer? Just as a fellow pitcher, borderline, maybe someday Hall of Fame guy. What do you respect about him the most?
I really see him evolving as a craftsman. It's not just all about stuff.
Yeah.
The way he gets tougher when he has to. The way he understands to save a little bit in his hip pocket or to add velocity when he gets in trouble. That's why he's so hard to score on.
Another 3-2.
Ball 4.
No, does not get the call. It was off the plate. And a good at bat by Higashioka. Quickly to the studio. I was asked that on Houston radio today. Like, we just can't beat the A's. There are a lot of teams that run into those teams. Aaron Boone said this is a shot in the arm. Regular season, we get fired up. There were some teams come in, and I'm sure it's hard I know it is, to get up for them. The Astros get swept. Here's LeMahieu now with 2 on, and Scherzer misses away. That was his first walk issued tonight to Higashioka. And one of those, if LeMahieu's able to come through, you kind of circle that at bat. That was a good at bat by the niner.
Yeah, Scherzer let him get away. Now you got to face LeMahieu.
LeMahieu is just 204 this year with runners in scoring position. The machine at his peak was an RBI machine.
Still a high contact guy, hard guy to strike out.
Yeah.
If you watch Yankee games or you're a fan of the Yankees, you like to see this guy up in these situations.
Donaldson at second, Higashioka at first, the tying run, the go-ahead run, LeMahieu. Gets the call, bottom of the strike zone. Evens it up, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Max Scherzer now going into his 24th pitch of this inning. The most he's had in any inning. So far, 71 in the game.
LeMahieu, right at Lindor. 108 off his bat, and it ends up in a glove. And the Yankees' best threat of the night stranded on a line shot into the glove of Lindor. Stays 2-zip. And Herman will have 1 pitch and 1 out. Now, that was a tough break because on your batting average on balls in play, LeMahieu expressed some real frustration. Watch what he does with the bat. He knows right away Lindor's going to catch that. 108 mile an hour off the bat. And the frustration for the Yankees is, Coney, you saw it last night. They didn't get a hit with runners in scoring position. They were 0 for 8 and 0 for 4 tonight.
Most of the time, the hitters are in the process of production, not direction.
Well, let's not forget, there's not many opportunities you can get off Max Scherzer. That was one right there, especially with the great at-bat that Kyle Higashioka had to get to that man.
Yankees have Lucas Litke, the lefty, warming in the bullpen. Herman throwing his 74th pitch.
Oh, that's out.
This has to be really encouraging. I mean, the Yankees have suffered injury after injury. Severino, Michael King, who had surgery today. We'll tell you about how that went. Encouraging start for Herman, and some encouraging performances last night out of the bullpen. Marinaccio was great. Lysiga was good. They really believe that Chapman is close. If they can convince him that he's close, it sounds like.
Yes, I mean, he's not going to be asked to close, but nonetheless, he could still be a part of the mix in the middle innings, and certainly in setting up. Clay Holmes has been outstanding.
Yes.
Probably in the National League, it's Edwin Diaz. In the American League, it's Clay Holmes as far as closing games out this year.
You got a timeout.
As far as Michael King goes, the outstanding reliever. He had surgery today. It, according to the doctors, could not have gone any better. And they will re-image it in a short period of time. They did not have to do anything to his UCL ligament. 6 to 10 weeks, they'll re-image, and if everything looks good again, he'll begin a throwing program going at the 12-week mark. So as good a news as you're going to get out of what was a very depressing situation. Michael King suffering a fracture in his elbow.
Yeah, the Yankee clubhouse was a morgue after the game.
On a game they won, Trevino said it felt like we lost.
Yes. That's how good he has been this year for the Yankees, and what an important role he was filling.
Oh, that's out.
But they did get good news yesterday when they saw Loizaga come in and pitch well. He was the man last year from the bullpen. They can get him back. It's pretty much replacing the success that Michael King has had this year with Esteban Loizaga.
You know, and I know you're very involved with, you know, the players, and you were a guy that was very involved with the players union. Like, for a young guy who hasn't made his money yet, how important was the year that King had to establish himself?
Enormously important. The value he was providing by any metrics you want to use. Old school, new school, WAR. The role he was taking on. just tremendous value that he was bringing to the Yankees.
Lindor straight back, and let's hope for his sake and the Yankees' sake that he's able to have a clean image and then start throwing in 12 weeks. He could very well be back for spring training next year. Herman trying to get through the 5th. The lefty Litke up in that pen, and Lindor singled an RBI in the 3rd inning. Came with 2 strikes and 2 outs. And that one is just down. Lindor approves that call was a ball.
How about Francisco Lindor? Already in the first 2 at-bats, he averaged 5 pitches per those 2 at-bats. Going into his 6th pitch here. Seen a lot of pitches against Herman, working those counts.
Alonso on deck. Herman will reset. 2-0 Mets. Alonso homer in the 2nd. And the RBI from Lindor in the 3rd. The only scoring tonight. Max Scherzer's been terrific. Yankees' best chance was their last chance when LeMahieu lined out hard to Lindor.
That's outside.
He draws the walk. We'll see if that leads to Herman being taken out. Here comes Aaron Boone, so we know there's going to be a pitching change. Herman will come off the mound after 4 2/3. They want a lefty to face Alonso. We'll get a studio update on the other side from Kevin. We'll take a timeout here. Good night for Domingo Herman. He'll leave with a man on. We'll come back with Pete Alonso after this. All right, Kevin, thank you very much. Lucas Lidke now on. You see his ERA. He has been a pretty good bright spot for the New York Yankees. Kind of flying under the radar given some of the performances we saw.
Aaron Boone kind of saved him for tonight as kind of a bulk guy to piggyback on Herman, who really was very good tonight. The 2nd start of the year for Domingo Herman. Still has his Yankees in this game.
Alonso, 6 of his homers have come against lefties. Litke bounces that one in there. Secret to Lucas Litke's success is what?
Everything he throws moves, and his high spin. Cut fastball, slider, curveball, and really his curveball is well above average in terms of spin rate and shape. High quality breaking stuff.
Alonso, small sample size, but 0 for 2 with a strikeout against Litke. That's way inside. Hey, the polar bear didn't hit it hard, but he certainly got enough of it to get it out in his first at bat.
He doesn't have to. Again, polar bears have very good hand strength, and that's exactly what this polar bear showcased on this one. 97 miles per hour. I mean, you look at it off the bat, that's all he needed. 367 the distance. There's no way right now, if I'm Lucas Litke, that I give in with Daniel Vogelbach on deck.
Statcast presented by Google Cloud. The Mets offense, their exit velos tonight. Nito 103. Vogelbach's single was 106.7 miles per hour off the bat.
Try to backdoor something, but do not come in with a strike. This is where a lot of managers just tell the catchers, think about this, be smart, instead of just putting 4 fingers up and saying, go ahead, Daniel, beat me. Or does Buck Showalter go to the bench and hit for Daniel Vogelbach and bring in J.D. Davis?
Hey! Threw a 3-0 pitch at the top of the zone, and he pays it off with a strike.
And that's a pitch that Alonso has had a lot more discipline this year, taking 7% less than he was last year. That used to be the hole in his swing. That's where pitchers targeted.
Three-1.
Ball 4.
Nope, ball 4. Is that the unintentional, intentional?
Yeah, you know, Alonso's a really good breaking ball hitter down in the zone, and that's one of Litke's best pitches. And those were all cutters, either in off the plate or the one strike was up above.
Vogelbach steps up. We remind everybody to enjoy the show wherever you are with the MLB app, with coverage of in-game highlights, pitch-by-pitch features, select live broadcast coverage, and more. You won't miss a beat. Download the MLB app today.
I love this. I love the fact that he is allowing Daniel Vogelbach to hit here. They're up 2. If this game was tied or they would be down, he would be hitting for him. But because it's the 5th inning, he knows that his at-bat is going to come up again in the game, and he'd rather have him behind Pete Alonso just in case.
That is the salient point. It's a little too early to pinch hit.
Strike 1.
And that's actually fallen through the wayside with some organizations. You look at the San Francisco Giants, they believe now is the time to attack. Forget about the 8th or 9th inning. Let's accumulate runs now. But Buck Showalter still believing in that next time up wants this big man still in the game.
And that has to do a little bit, having seen the Giants a few times, with the lineup that they have. You know, we believe we have advantages here, so let's take advantage of it. We saw it the other night with Darren Ruff. When do we use that? When do we pull that card? And for the most part, it worked a lot.
And the psychological factor, let's face it, Buck Showalter, he's a mad scientist in all of this. He understands that this is a new beginning for Daniel Vogelbach here. The numbers don't lie. He hits 141 against left-handed pitching, but it's 141. It's not 0-0-0. He has gotten hits before.
Very popular in every clubhouse that he has been in. Always up. Vogelbach pulls this one to first. LeMahieu stays right down on it, steps on the bag. Vogelbach's retired. Litke gets the job done. High five from Garrett Cole to Domingo Germán. It's still anybody's ball game, 2-0. You got to try to put Aaron Judge in perspective when you think about the greatest home run hitters and single seasons that the Yankees have ever had. Of course, Babe Ruth, Maris, Mantle, 1961, and the 61 bombs. And that's where Aaron Judge finds himself, in that type of territory, and the most homers through 100 games played in the history of the Yankees. Look at where Aaron Judge is. And that, of course, leads into what do we do in game number 99 and the next 2 weeks. Juan Soto's name's out there, plays the same position as Aaron Judge. Judge has moved over to center field. Is it a perfect fit? Does that affect the Judge negotiations if that were to happen? Scherzer, who has started everybody off seemingly with a slider, instead throws 94 to Aaron Judge. We'll get Buster's thoughts on all of that after the at-bat. He bounces one there. It is difficult to imagine that a guy 6'7", 285. You ask Aaron Boone, so you have Hicks, who's the center fielder, playing left field, and Judge, who's the right fielder. He said, I really like Aaron Judge in center field. That's our center fielder. Big swing at 95. How about 2 fastballs in this at bat? Sliderville last at bat.
Well, the sliders just go up a notch too when Max Scherzer needs it. And the changeup, good take by Judge. But that last slider, really high quality pitch from Scherzer when he really needs it. That ball was a strike for a long way.
That one is pulled. He threw him a changeup there at 84.
Carl, you look at the last 2 at-bats, including this one here. Latent counts is where he's going to that changeup. You know, that's where the numbers don't favor Aaron Judge. Wants to make sure he does not barrel anything.
Felt like a slider set up, and it was a slider set up. He punches out Judge for the 2nd time tonight. He's got 5 strikeouts, Scherzer.
Well, the subtle little nuances of changing speeds. This one at 87 miles an hour in between the cutter and the slider. That's what Max Scherzer can give you.
Scherzer is 6-2 on the season. A 2.28 ERA to Rizzo. Look out. He's got him on the foot. And in fact, it did get him on the foot. A mistake there for Scherzer. Tugged that for that four-seam fastball, and he sends Rizzo to first, and now brings a tying run to the plate.
Well, Rizzo's not going to get out of the way. He's on the dish, and he's not moving.
Oh, that hurts though, man. That's a shin burger.
Now, there's pain there.
That's for the love of the game.
3 for 20 with men on in the series. And another chance for the Yanks against Scherzer with Gleyber Torres.
Ball left down.
For a while, the entire story this season was the Mets getting hit by pitches. Here Scherzer hits Rizzo.
Ball left down.
So the first walk last inning, we see the hit batter. Is there anything about Scherzer that you're seeing, guys?
I'll say this, if I'm Gleyber Torres at the plate right now, I'd be surprised if I get a fastball 2-0. It's been going to the slider against Gleyber.
Hit on a line again. Nimmo is over there, and he makes the play.
Hit it hard, 94 miles per hour.
110 miles an hour off the bat. Here's Kevin. There's a lot of dog day behavior going on. You don't see that from Rogers. Boy, Darvish's last 2 starts have been special. As Matt Carpenter looks at a filthy curveball. Let's bring Buster in here now that Judge has been retired. And Buster, you can go in a lot of directions. You want to start with Soto? We just had a Padres reference in there.
Yeah, and I'll start with Luis Castillo. That is someone that the Yankees are focused on. I've been told that the Cardinals, Twins, might be other teams that are interested. Of course, the Cardinals would be at a disadvantage because
Carpenter, fair ball. It's going to be the right fielder Marte who picks it up. Rizzo to third. Men are on the corners. Go ahead, Buster, as we walk up. Donaldson, finish your thought.
Yeah, so the Cardinals are in the same division as the Reds. There's some skepticism about whether or not they could actually finish a deal. But for the Yankees, Castillo, starting pitcher, something that they're looking at pretty seriously.
Over the head of Alonso, Carpenter delivers. Wasn't hard hit. But another big spot. They've had a bunch of them here recently, and they've hit the ball hard. Last time Donaldson was up, a rocket to center off the wall, nearly left the building, ended up being a double.
Well, that is part of the story. I mean, the expected batting average off of Scherzer tonight, based on the quality of contact, is 271. Still nothing to show as of yet for the Yankees, including, even though they've had a lot of hard hit baseballs.
Third time he's seen Donaldson. First pitch swinging, slow roller. Scherzer will go to first, and that will do it. Good athleticism, Max Scherzer. He attacked that ball with all sorts of spin on it. And once again, the Yankees unable to deliver with a runner in scoring position. And the first ground ball out of the night for Scherzer. Back to MLB, our coverage on ESPN. Telecast presented by Corona, the official cerveza of Major League Baseball. Max Scherzer quickly off the mound, attacking a spinning baseball. 2 hands and then the flip.
Donaldson clearly frustrated, swinging at the first pitch and out in front and cueing it.
By the way, that was the first ground out of the evening. 12 balls hit in the air, 5 strikeouts in that.
Did you think we were in a commercial break when I said that?
Yes.
Oh, you did. So you didn't think the audience heard it the first time?
No.
Marcana, Jeff McNeil, Eduardo Escobar against Lucas Litke, who came on, gave up a walk to Alonso, and then got Vogelbach on a ground ball to first. Jam shot here, and that's not going to be caught by anybody. Buster, a little moment here. Go back to, let's talk about Juan Soto. I think a lot of people with a lot of teams are interested on where he may end up and what the latest you hear is.
Yeah, that the Nationals have significant offers in hand. I think if I were to assess some of the aggressiveness, I think the Padres are the most motivated team. I think the Cardinals, in theory, are the team that's best equipped to pull off a big deal because of all those great Major League ready players that we've seen. You know, Dodgers and Yankees have looked at it, but I think they're worried about paying the salary long term. I've been told that the Yankees are really focused on Aaron Judge and trying to get him signed when the year's over. And guys, if you're a team looking at this, imagine trading for Willie Mays in 1955. Imagine trading for Henry Aaron in 1958. That's what you're getting with Juan Soto. That's how good this guy is. And interestingly, guys, and you look at some of the adjusted OPS plus, Ted Williams through age 23 season, 190, Mays, Aaron. Soto is higher than that. And so if you're a team looking at a possible deal and you look at the history of blockbuster deals, typically if you're the team acquiring the superstar, you win the trade.
Yeah. Donaldson, he will retire Canada. I guess the point is well taken. Like, you don't lose the trade, especially with 2+ years left. But the other part of it is those guys that you mentioned weren't going to ask for the money that Juan Soto is going to ask for. It's a different world.
And you're not going to, and those guys weren't going to make the money that Juan Soto is going to make.
You're right. He's going to make it.
I think the key, though, is you get 3 pennant race runs with Soto before you have to decide whether you want to pay him if you're on the receiving end of the trade. And I agree with Buster. I don't care what you give up to get Juan Soto. There's a good chance you're going to win that trade.
Ball.
There's just a balance of power shift wherever he goes. And if that brings a World Series ring, the residual effect of winning a World Series really elevates any franchise, their value, the fan base. Hard to put a value on that.
Yeah, and you're right. You figure that the team that would trade for him is one that is interested and has a chance this year, likely next year and the year after, to win World Series. It's not a rebuilding project.
And he's been there, done that. At 23, he's already won a World Series. So
slow roller. Quick throw. Out is the call. McNeil said he was safe when he stepped on the bag. Torres had to charge it. And it does not look like McNeil is going to stay on first base. And they'll keep it going, no replay.
Yeah, big time lunge, but it was in LeMahieu's mitt before he stepped on the bag. Look, that's the other thing. When you have a 23-year-old that has all those numbers, he is proven in October as well. I'd be all in.
Escobar pulls that foul.
Saw that bang play at first and couldn't help it in the background. Notice Wayne Kirby coaching first base again for the Mets.
Yeah.
Recently had prostate cancer surgery. First time back at first base tonight. The big fella, what a great guy, great coach. Been with Buck Showalter a long time.
Great call, Coney. Ball bounced to Escobar.
Thank you, Ball.
Max Scherzer has pitched 4 times now on his birthday. He has 40 career strikeouts on his birthday, which is the most in baseball history. Randy Johnson was another guy who had a chance to pitch on his birthday. He had 39. Sarah Lang's behind the scenes for us. She's as big into birthdays as anybody. So any statistical either anomaly or accomplishment will be noted as it relates to the birthday.
Got a little birthday luck going tonight too, it looks like.
And he's not the only birthday boy in uniform. Wandy Peralta celebrating a birthday today.
Oh, no, Bobby.
Wow, they look to first base. Eduardo's looking there. The call's already been made. You're out.
Well,
Lucas Litke went slow, and slower. Escobar done. Scherzer ready for the 7th. children's clothing, little babies, little 1-year-olds. You can suit up this summer. MLBshop.com, the largest selection of authentic caps, t-shirts, collectibles, and more. You can outfit the whole family with your favorite team's gear at MLBshop.com. Big Sexy, where is Bart? We got a personalized shirt. Do you have a Big Sexy shirt, Eduardo?
I do not.
You don't?
No. Should I?
Probably some who think so.
That's it.
Yeah.
He's still throwing batting practice somewhere right now, isn't he?
Without and doing it well, and probably hitting balls over the wall.
He's ready. He's ready for the call, just in case.
Somewhere in Mexico.
Hicks, Kiner, Falefa, Higashioka for Scherzer, who works into the 7th, and he throws an 84-mile-an-hour changeup. Season high in pitches for Max is 102 twice. And there's no one warming in the Met bullpen. You heard the trumpets last night. Edwin Diaz got 4 outs. Doesn't appear as if he's available tonight. Mets shift against Hicks. And he hits it right into it. Lindor's going to try that flip with a glove. No, he transfers to the bare hand. He tried a flip with a glove last night. Didn't work. He goes bare hand tonight for the out. Here's Kevin. Great sign for Julio. Great sign here for the Yankees. This one into the corner. Here comes the throw in. Kiner Falefa is in there with a double. An extra base hit for the Yankees. Donaldson had a double. Kiner Falefa with a double. The bottom of the order has done more damage against Scherzer than the top.
How about Kiner Falefa right here on this one? First 2 at-bats, he started them up with sliders. This time, it was the curveball. Stayed up, sat on it, kept it fair for the double. You learn from those first 2 at-bats. You make the adjustment on pitch selection. Stop looking for the heater. Start looking for something up. Now he's in scoring position. Another hard hit ball by a Yankee.
Yankees 0 for 13. Runners in scoring position. Kiner Falefa increases his hit streak to 14. First pitch, high fly, deep center, but not deep enough. Now coming in short of the track and throwing to third. Nimmo. Here's Kiner Falefa, and he's into third base. Higashioka gave it a ride. Last night Aaron Boone went to his bench, pinch hit Gallo in a similar spot for Kiner Falefa. That didn't work out well. He elected to allow Higashioka to hit. Now it's LeMahieu as the tying run. He lined out hard his last time up, stranding 2. That liner was to Lindor. 4th time Scherzer has seen LeMahieu.
Been a lot of good swings. And a lot of good pitches as well. Scherzer's made great pitches when he's had to. The Yankees have made some great swings with nothing to show for it so far.
He's hit it hard twice tonight, LeMahieu.
Oh, that's out.
2 balls, no strikes. I mean, the expected, batting average against Scherzer tonight, given the exit velocities, would be near 290.
It's over 300 at this point.
Over 300.
After this inning so far. 5 balls hit over 100 miles an hour. 5 more balls hit over 95 miles an hour.
Judge on deck. 2 of those balls, LeMahieu's, and Scherzer is behind 3-0.
And Scherzer entering today, the most well-hit balls through 6 innings was actually 6 in the season. So to be able to have goose eggs up there just tells you he can make that pitch when he needs to, at least so far.
LeMahieu has to feel like he's due, given the way he has squared up Max Scherzer tonight. Aaron Judge, on the other hand, flew out to right and has struck out twice. He's in the on-deck circle. 2 down. And he walks LeMahieu to set up another duel with Judge.
So far, the key against Judge for Max Scherzer tonight has been strike one on the first pitch. Get ahead of him. 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts.
Peterson has begun to throw in the Mets bullpen. What a moment in this game again between Scherzer and Judge, and the crowd is very aware of it. Many of them have risen to their feet.
It's been a steady diet of sliders too, from Scherzer to Judge, with an occasional fastball.
The best player in the American League this year, Aaron Judge, against one of the great pitchers of all time. Slider at 87, right down the heart to get ahead 0-1. Talk about trust. Buck Showalter didn't send a pitching coach out. Set up, down, and away. Slider to get ahead 0-2.
First time all night he's had Judge 0-2.
First one gets a lot of the plate, the next one gets less of the plate. Expect this one to be off the plate.
The only starting pitcher to get Judge to strike out 3 times in a game this year, Frankie Montas. Scherzer trying to do it again.
Ball that's outside.
Good take by Judge.
4th pitch of the last 2 at-bats, he's gone with the changeup. So far, he's repeated the slider 3 times. Let's see what he goes with now.
Came in on those fists at 97. Found another mile per hour on the fastball. Third inning, 6th inning. Aaron Judge, who has swung and missed at 5 Scherzer pitches. Those were the last 2 strikeouts. What are you doing, Coney? Slider?
I think that was the setup pitch, the 97 up and in.
Got him to chase. Max Scherzer sets down Judge for the 3rd time. And he walks off the mound on his birthday after 7 innings of shutout baseball with 6 strikeouts.
How you doing, brother?
Good, man. How you doing, bro?
Good, man. What's up, Tomas? How you doing, bro?
How you doing?
Good. Any of you former National League pitchers got any knocks off Mad Max?
I took him off the wall in right center 2018, but I didn't leg out the double, and it's a regret I'll always have.
When you bought your ticket tonight to watch this game, this is what you came to watch. Aaron Judge versus Max Scherzer with runners in scoring position.
Last at bat, Aaron Judge down for the 3rd time. He fires his bat, and then Max goes into the dugout, and he fires everybody up. This is where you got to be careful. This is bull in a china shop stuff here. Look at Max. Careful. You can hear the sound of it. can't imagine you'd want anything more from your ace than that. On the field, off the field. Nito, first pitch swings. He flies out to Matt Carpenter. How often do you hear, well, that guy, nobody's worth that much money? Max Scherzer's worth that much money in a baseball world. That's what you need.
Every penny. Not just on the days he pitches either. He's on that bench. He's a leader. Provides that kind of fire.
Makes everyone around him better.
You want to talk about clubhouse chemistry, how you quantify it? Guys like that.
How about when you're not even in your own clubhouse and you're pitching for the Binghamton Rumble Ponies in Hartford, and you call the local steak place downtown, you order steak and seafood, the bill comes to $7,000, and you give every member of that Rumble Pony team while you're on a rehab start AirPods. That's how Max Scherzer left an impression on that team in one night. Pitch great, and by the way, steak, lobster, whatever you need, $7 grand, obviously not a problem for him. But that's when you're a AA, you go home and you say, I just saw the leader. I saw how this is supposed to work.
That's what a big leaguer looks like.
100%. And acts like it.
What a night to be a Rumble Pony. Huh?
Pick the right night, exactly.
Capital Grill, right? Steak and lobster.
It's either Capital Grill or it could have been Max Downtown, another great restaurant in Hartford, Connecticut. I'm not sure where they got all that steak. And by the way, it was a lot. Maybe it was both. Either way, it was the message Scherzer sent. Gotta check some of those hands he was slapping.
Yes.
Punched out. Nimmo. Litke and Herman have been really good tonight. Coming off a night in which Montgomery went 2 1/3, the shortest start he's had, and a bunch of bullpen arms were used. Those two guys have been outstanding.
Yeah, the silver lining, Carl, over the 2 games here for the Yankees is the bullpen.
Yes.
With all their injuries, we mentioned Michael King, and that's a dandy right there for breaking ball from Litke. On the black at the knees, ring him up.
Inside pitch to Starling Marte. It's not been a good night for the Mets right fielder. He's 0 for 3. He has struck out each time up.
Thank you, Kyle.
Peterson looks like he's next man up. I'm not sure Scherzer would have enough energy left after that celebration. And that's a message too to Showalter and everybody. Like, I'm good, right? And then that's no doubt about what I just did and what my intentions are for the next inning. I'm right here.
Good.
I'm right here with you.
I'm good. 99 pitches, good enough for me.
And more than the pitches, really, just the high leverage pitches and pitching out of some jams over the latter innings. Expending a lot of emotion and energy.
Marte, that's going to go through, even though there were 3 men on the left side. Starting Marte, 109 off the bat. He reaches for the first time with 2 down.
Gave him the 3-0 green light, took advantage of it, and that'll be it for Lucas Litke.
Loaisiga was warming up. He is going to come in. Had a good outing last night. See if he can back it up tonight for Aaron Boone and the New York Yankees. In a lot of ways, in a nutshell, this game came down to those Scherzer versus Judge matchups, and it was Max tonight. 2 down, bottom 7. Back after this. We'll be at Oracle Park, one of the great ballparks in America. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, ESPN, Deportes Radio. Our coverage starts 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. Baseball tonight, Sunday night countdown. After that, little red eye into Houston for the Red Sox Astros Monday, and then trade deadline special Tuesday. Busy few days coming up.
Carl.
Sir.
This will be the first time Coney takes his new hip on the road.
On the road, on a flight, cross country. I don't have a concern about it.
We got to go to San Francisco?
No one told you?
And then Houston?
bionic man now. Running up and down stairs already.
I feel great.
And if you want Hartford after Houston.
Oh, okay.
I'll get you steak.
Let's go.
Lobster.
I'm in.
Rather than focus on the 7.17 ERA, Yankees are hoping that what they saw last night from Loizaga will be more of what they get the remainder of this season. Such a key part of that team last year.
Yeah, Carl, they need someone to step into that role.
Yep.
Michael King had absolutely thrived in before, and whether it's Loizaga or maybe they make a deal for someone like David Robertson, they are going to get some bullpen help, I think, before the deadline.
You got it. Time out.
Lindor calls time. I think the deadline has changed dramatically in the sense that about a month ago, it didn't feel like it was going to be a big thing, and now it feels like the really good teams are being very aggressive. The new playoff format forces you to avoid that wild card round. You want to win your league record so you can have home field advantage, and the Astros are certainly pushing the Yankees. The Braves have made it a real race. The Dodgers are still catchable. It feels like the trade deadline may be a little bit more active than we had thought about a month ago.
Yeah, Wild, I think so much of the action was actually backed up by Major League Baseball draft, and now hot and heavy, according to GMs.
2-0, good pitch there at 89.
You know, Buster, also hot and heavy, but then new names on the market every day, it seems like. It's maybe some Cleveland Indians pitchers that are controllable, and rumors of maybe some of them being unavailable. Of course, Juan Soto jammed everything up as everybody waits to see if that's real or not. But
yeah, the Houston Astros maybe have some guys. The Marlins supposedly willing to talk about starting pitching, and there are a lot of teams looking for starters.
Lindor, that's popped up, and an easy one on the infield.
That's pretty nasty.
For out number 3 into the glove of Kiner Falefa. Scherzer was great. Who follows him will determine the outcome of tonight's game.
$50.
ESPN's telecast of Major League Baseball is presented by Corona, the official cerveza of Major League Baseball. 38-year-old Max Scherzer, second oldest pitcher since at least 1901, with a scoreless start of any length on his birthday. Younger than only sad Sam Jones, who pitched July 26 of 1934. He had a shutout on his 42nd birthday. I don't imagine he was sad that night.
Why so sad, Sam?
Why the long face? Well, I would imagine, Eduardo, the Yankees are breathing a sigh of relief because they don't have to see Scherzer. And now it's David Peterson, who's been very good, but it's not Max Scherzer tonight.
Yeah, a lot better, one way or another, even though Peterson, most of his experience comes from the starting side of it. 13 starts and 16 appearances total this season. Called upon in a tough task here, even though it's lefty, righty, lefty. It's Anthony Rizzo.
And just like that, he falls behind 3-0 to Rizzo. Torres is the right-handed hitter, then Carpenter due up. Seth Lugo is warming up, so maybe that gives you an indication as to whether Diaz will be used.
All four.
And a 4-pitch walk, and just like that, momentum moves towards the Yankees. Pretty close pitch, but a ball.
Meet Ultimate Hybrid, advanced ceramic and wax technology. The best of both worlds, but better. Only from Mothers.
Scherzer walked 1 all night. Peterson walks 1. And a first pitch swinging here. Torres deep to right field. Marte doesn't see it because it's over the wall. Gleyber Torres ties it with his 16th home run. And yeah, they're breathing a sigh of relief. Scherzer is gone. It's 2-2.
Brand new ball game, and it's Gleyber Torres doing it with 101.4 mile per hour off the bat. The pitch that hung in the air 5 seconds, but most importantly, there was a pitch up and away, didn't try to do so much to pull it. When he's on, this is what he does. A lot of hitters would think, let's take a pitch until he throws a strike. Labor said, I'm attacking early, pitch up, puts that foot down, and ties this ball game at 2.
Marte got spun around, and the only thing he saw with the fans out there raising their arms as that ball left. 4-pitch walk to Rizzo to start the inning, and then Torres, who's been so much better this year, jumped him.
A Yankee Stadium-like home run here at Citi Field.
But yet a home run in 27 ballparks in the big leagues.
Seen Gleyber Torres do that all year long, hit the ball the other way, much better this year.
Yeah.
As opposed to last year.
Big bounce back year, right?
That ball was driven.
Matt Carpenter quickly discarded with a strikeout.
Up and out over the plate. Up and out over the wall.
That's what makes Gleyber Torres so dangerous, and Aaron Boone knows it. When his second baseman is able to drive the ball from line to line, effectively it works.
Peterson is out. Looks like Lugo is coming in. In fact, he is. And just like last night where the Mets got up off the mat, tonight the Yankees do. Seth Lugo now into the game. David Peterson came in, walked Rizzo, 2-run shot to Torres. Matt Carpenter strikeout. And here were the numbers for Seth Lugo in 37 games. Max Scherzer's incredible performance goes by the boards. Peterson, who has been a starter, used out of the pen, to try to put us in his shoes and Scherzer's shoes. Like, what's that like?
Yeah, that is so difficult. I mean, we saw the emotion from Max Scherzer after he was done, and all the high fives, impressive. Sitting up in the clubhouse, you're ready to celebrate, and then all of a sudden the deflating feeling for that guy, first and foremost. And then, of course, Scherzer being the pro he is, I'm sure once he calms down, he'll pick up Peterson and say, hey, we got you.
Donaldson back up here, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
But the initial reaction is crushing.
Like, wait, what? What happened? Right? Yeah. Wait, what? Now, that last pitch to Rizzo was really close. It was a 4-pitch walk.
Well, we've seen Gleyber Torres hit the ball the other way with authority all year long, taking advantage of the Yankee Stadium porch. But even though that was a swing that was tailor-made for Yankee Stadium, he didn't need a porch for that one. As Eduardo said, that ball carried.
Lugo 2-2. Oh, he buckled him and it gets called strike 3. Completely fooled Donaldson with a wicked breaking ball.
Oh man, that's a bad feeling as a hitter. You're thinking there's no way this is going to be a strike. He continues to have the conversation with Doug Eddings, but we saw right there in the K zone that it did fall. One of the elite spin rates in the game. Great job by presenting it by Tomas Nido, one of the top presenters when it comes to being able to stick it. Josh Donaldson, man, completely buckled on that one.
First pitch fastball. In there for a strike. What's this feel like, Eddie?
Not good. Watch the knees. They go. Once that goes, the rest is history. 3,200 plus when it comes to the spin rate from Seth Lugo.
Oh, that's out. Doesn't get the call on the corner. There's a curveball 34% of the time and a fastball around 29%. He will mix in a sinker and a slider as well. A very rare but occasional changeup. Oh, that's out. This is again outside. Well, it woke up the Yankee fans and certainly the Met fans now in a brand new ball game. Max Scherzer had the sleeper hold on the Yankee offense. '97. Aaron Hicks singled his first time up. Last couple of games he's had multi-hit games. Holmes is heated in that Yankee bullpen. Got him. Filthy breaking ball. That curveball is outstanding. Hicks is gone, but the damage was done early after the 4-pitch walk to Rizzo. Gleyber Torres, right field, and gone. It's 2-2. Subway Series. Mets coming to the plate, bottom of the 8th. Wednesday night, Citi Field. It's been a terrific game. So we welcome you back to MLB. Our coverage here on ESPN, telecast presented by Corona, the official cerveza of Major League Baseball. Wasn't only down on the field. Eduardo Perez, David Cohn, Carl Ravitch here in our booth. So here you go. It's not the 9th inning. It's the bottom of the 8th inning. The Mets have their biggest bats coming up with Alonso leading off, and the Yankees bring in the guy that has closed their games for them all year. What's this about?
Well, really, it's about the base on ball rate. Since he became a Yankee, he stopped walking guys. He's only had one blip on the screen this year where he kind of had one blow-up game, but other than that, he's filled up the strike zone with a high-quality sinker.
He does not give up hard contact generally. I mean, you look at his baseball savant page, his barrel percentage is in the 100th percentile. His expected ERA 100th percentile. His whiff rate, his chase rate, all of them red, and that's all you want. Clay Holmes has been as dominant a closer since he took over that role as there is. Huge gap in left center field. Hicks is shaded towards the line and Judge to right. That one buzzes him a little bit at 98.
This is the last trade deadline. The Yankees made the trade for Clay Holmes. Relatively unknown at that point.
Yeah.
I think every GM in Major League Baseball this year is looking for the next Clay Holmes. Where's he at?
Right.
How about bullpens understanding high leverage situations? Clay Holmes has been used primarily to close games, but this is a closing situation, especially with Pete Alonso at the plate. Keep the ball on the ground. He has a high rate of being able to do that. It's exactly what you want Alonso to do. The two-seam fastballs have been in effect the last 3 pitches, 97, 8, and 7 again.
It's exactly why Clay Holmes is in this game. This part of the lineup and this batter up right now.
And the fact that he does not allow balls to be hit in the air. He has not allowed a home run this season. And a steady diet of fastballs, all upper 90s to Alonso. 1-2, back at you. He had it off his glove, still has time, and he gets Pete Alonso to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning. 6'5", 245 pounds on the mound. He needed all of it. Not that Torres may not have gotten that, but
got enough of it to keep it close.
Yep.
And not panic. Still got time.
So many times you would see managers, old school managers, not throw their closers, especially on the road. One of the things you could say that cost Buck Showalter his job in Baltimore against the Toronto Blue Jays when he did not bring in his closer.
Zach Britton. Here's Daniel Vogelbach.
This is why Buck Showalter, as you mentioned before, Eduardo, did not pinch hit for Vogelbach back in the 5th inning, so he could be up for this at bat.
Hey! 98 miles an hour with some nasty movement on it, down near Vogelbach's knees. Just acquired, making his 2nd appearance in a Met uniform. Try to hold up, but it's right there at 99, and now in a 1-2 hole.
Serious movement on that 99. Bogey thought that pitch was going to be inside. He flinches, then it catches the zone. Let Vogelbach right here just give up on it.
Your point's well taken. Every team's looking for the next Clay Holmes, but they didn't know they had this guy. What changed? What did they do with it?
I think they just simplified things for him, and he was starting to figure it out anyway. Right before with Pittsburgh, he had started to turn the corner by his own admission. But just to identify your best pitch as your sinker, throw it over and over, and then with a slider to complement it.
Next one to Vogelbach. This is inside, not by much. This is a guy that literally swings fewer than anybody else.
It's impressive because you would think automatically it would be Max Muncy from the Dodgers. Instead, it's 32 for the Mets.
There you see it, the lowest swing rate this season. Muncy's on that list. 3-2 pitch. He took it. They'll appeal. No swing. Daniel Vogelbach did his job. We'll see if Buck Showalter sends out a pinch runner for Vogelbach, and he will. So Jankowski coming in as Vogelbach does his job. He's been on base 3 times. Here's Kevin Connors with a quick update. Yeah, they get 6-6. We have 2-2.
It's an impressive effort by Wainwright in Toronto against a really hot lineup.
Without your 2 big boys.
Canada, the left fielder. Looks at strike 1 at 97. It's a great moment in Toronto last night. I know we all know him well. Buck Martinez back in the booth after having fought cancer. We hope it continues to go in the right direction. Great to see Buck Martinez back. 0-1 to Canada. Oh, what a scoop there by Kyle Higashioka. Holy smokes.
That's all you can do. Top the block. The off-speed pitch, but with the fastball, you better just try to do this. See if it sticks, and it did.
That gets by. You got real speed in scoring position. A blooper would put the Mets ahead. Went off speed, and he missed with a slider. 2 balls and a strike.
In case you guys are wondering, only one opponent has stolen a base against Holmes this year in his career. Opponents 11 for 12 in stolen base attempts.
Yeah, he's really quick. 1-3 to the plate. That gives Higashioka enough time with the transfer to make an accurate throw. So they're going to go station to station.
Ball that's out.
3 balls, 1 strike to Canna. McNeil is on deck.
Sinker baller on the mound. Good runner at first. This could be an opportunity, now that you're tied at 2, to get the runner in motion on a 3-1 count. Let's see what Buck does here.
Balls, 2 strikes. Think about the last couple of nights. Scherzer outstanding tonight. Marte big last night. Escobar a home run. Here's Canna, sort of the 4th guy that they acquired in the offseason. Culture change within the clubhouse. Showalter, of course, a huge acquisition. But here's the chance for Canna to join the other guys and contribute in a big way. It's one of the toughest men to get a hit against in baseball, Clay Holmes. 3-2. Jankowski goes. It is hit. It is safe there. They'll get the runner at first. Torres went to tag Jankowski. He's saying, don't even look. I didn't get him. So Jankowski will be into scoring position.
Really good call by Buck. Send the runner, sinker ball pitcher on the mound. Odds are the ball's going to be hit hard on the ground and stay away from two. Because Jankowski sees it. Glaber misses him. See the reaction in his face when he missed him.
Well, this is just a conversation with Holmes. You can see clearly a swing and a miss from Torres. Speedy Jankowski.
You guys think they're talking about the options, what to do with McNeil?
Well, the problem is you have Eduardo Escobar on deck. Saying be smart, make him chase. He's a free swinger.
It's a reminder of how aggressive McNeil is on the first pitch as well. Notoriously ready to swing always.
The outfield plays very shallow. Judge in center, Hicks in left, Carpenter probably a little deeper than the other two in right field. And with Jankowski's speed, you kind of believe a ball to the right fielder, Carpenter, will result in a run. He does not have the arm of Judge and Hicks, but boy, Aaron Hicks is really shallow in left field. He has swung at the first pitch in 2 of his 3 at-bats tonight. Choking way up on the bat. Will not swing. Wasn't even close. It's 1-0. He's been a pain in the Yankees side in 17 career games, a .381 batting average, although 0 for 3 tonight.
Well, you are right, Carl. I mean, Hicks, that's as shallow as I've seen a left fielder all year.
And the odds are is if he hits it hard, it will be on the ground. Love the fact that while he was delivering that pitch, it was an 85-mile-per-hour breaking pitch. Hicks actually took 2 steps to his left.
All I know is if McNeil gets a hit here, Buck will be rubbing his bat for the rest of McNeil's career.
Yeah, even if he's with the Mets or not.
He might move his locker into Buck's office.
McNeil had complained about not getting a hit. Buck Showalter rubbed the baseball bat last night. He got a big hit. Every one of his bats was in Buck's office today, looking for a rub down. 2 balls and a strike. Bottom of the 8th, Clay Holmes ready for his 20th pitch. Game was tied on a 2-run home run from Glaber Torres in the top half.
Oh, that's in.
3 balls, 1 strike.
Not necessarily wild from Holmes, but all around the dish, just missing a lot, and some good takes from the Mets hitters.
So Scherzer already pitched. Peralta, another birthday boy, is warming in the Yankee pen. 3-1, big pitch. McNeil right on a line, short hopped. What a pick by Glaber Torres. Not an easy play, but he's able to make it. McNeil barks into the ground. And we will get into the 9th inning, tied at 2. Higashioka and Torres. 2 great picks.
That play was nasty. What a great play.
.891 due up for the Yankees. Lugo continues to throw. He pours in a slider at 87. 9th inning, 2-2 Subway Series Game 2. Mets won last night 6-3. And the Yankees rally with that 2-run home run from Torres after Scherzer was outstanding to tie it at 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Clay Holmes came on in that big inning, that high leverage situation. He was able to get Alonso McNeil hit that ball 104 miles an hour. It's a really good play by Torres.
Take away the 0.4.
104.4.
There we go.
Lugo racing, and he steps there, and he's lucky he didn't roll an ankle. That looked awkward, but he's able to stay upright and looks to be okay.
How about Pete Alonso makes that play, and you're usually taught as a first baseman, once you make that play, start with your body moving it that way. Instead, he makes it, and just from there, sets his feet and tosses it over to Lugo, the higher difficulty rate for a pitcher to be able to make that play. Usually transfer your feet, you work your way there. Strong underarm, accurate throw to Seth Lugo to beat out Isaiah Kiner-Falefa.
Aaron Boone has opted to put Jose Trevino up here for Higashioka. So the all-star catcher will bat. LeMahieu will be on deck, 1 down, 9th inning.
Trevino above average offensively.
Oh, that's outside.
Top of the heap in catcher framing metrics. That's why he was an all-star. #1 defensive catcher in the big leagues this year, and above average offense.
I like how you brought top of the heap back since we started the telecast with that. That is in there for a strike at 95 to even it up. 1 ball, 1 strike. A lot of folks got to know Jose Trevino during the all-star coverage, with he wearing the microphone and talking with Nestor Cortez. What a breakout year, what a super year it's been for this catcher. And making the all-star team, we saw Aaron Boone break the news to him, and he broke down. 1-2, Lugo working quickly. He got Trevino.
There you go.
Really skinny curveballs. I mean, as opposed to fat curveballs, this is a skinny curveball. Tight spinning. The angle of attack, the angle of that curveball through the zone. Very skinny, very sharp, very steep.
3,300 spin rate, right on the dot. You want elite? That is elite.
If it had a sound effect, it would be.
Absolutely.
A little bit quicker than that.
Quicker than that? LeMahieu. That didn't have the skinniness to it. That pitch right there, but it's in there for a strike.
Got it. You know, we have measurements for everything now, and you can certainly measure the steepness of the curveball as it comes through the strike zone. Lugo, outstanding at that as well.
That's all.
Went up top at 98. LeMahieu didn't offer. 1 ball, 1 strike. DJ started the night 278. And he's hit the ball as hard as anybody tonight with a couple of shots off his bat at 100+. He's got a single to show for it in the 3rd. Here's another one. This one into right. It's going to get down, and it is in front of Starling Marte. So LeMahieu, with 2 outs, allows Aaron Judge to come to the plate. And what has been one of the least successful nights of Judge's season. 3 strikeouts and 0 for 4 with a fly out to right.
Longtime coach Perry Hill, now with the Seattle Mariners, would say the do factor. Don't forget about it. Bad night, tough night. 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position.
Whew. Challenged him with 90+ mile an hour slider up top, and he missed it. 7th time that Aaron Judge has swung tonight and missed so many of those on Max Scherzer's sliders. 38 homers. Called strike 2, filthy pitch. 2-seamer at 97.
Timeout.
An equally good pickup by Nito to prevent LeMahieu from getting in a scoring position.
What an advantage all night that the Mets pitchers have been able to get ahead of Aaron Judge. That first pitch has been key. They can open up the zone to try to get him to chase.
Judge hit it hard on the ground. Lindor gets the hop. He flips to second, and Aaron Judge 0 for 5 tonight. New York Mets will come up with a chance to end it in the bottom of the ninth of a 2-2 game. Escobar, Nito, Nimmo. Looks like Peralta's going to be the guy they face.
They believe they were better. Sometimes you're like, man, we lost. Yeah, they were better. We didn't lose to the better team, but we just weren't good enough to win this series.
That's what losers say. Every loser say we had a better team, but we didn't play as well. So, sorry, Nomar, we had a better team, man.
There you go, The Captain. Tomorrow night, ESPN films the 7-part docu-series, The Captain. It continues episodes 3 and 4. It's an unprecedented look into Derek Jeter's life and career. And as we just learned, his competitiveness on and off the baseball field starts at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, ESPN, ESPN Plus. If you missed part 1 or 2, you can watch them on ESPN Plus whenever you want. So Holmes comes in a high leverage situation, 8th inning, and now they are left with Wandy Peralta, the left-hander, who, like Max Scherzer, is celebrating a birthday today. And he will get Eduardo Escobar, who homered last night. He moves to the right side of the plate. Nito is on deck, and then Nimmo at the top. There have been 12 walk-offs in regular season Subway Series games. The Mets have walked it off 8 times. This ball is hammered to left field. It's going to get down. It's going to get off the wall. Escobar into second with a leadoff double in the bottom of the ninth. Value of Eduardo Escobar has been on display the last 2 nights.
One changeup first pitch, and yesterday it was Eduardo Escobar from the right side also that hit the home run to put the Mets in the lead. This time, it's Eduardo Escobar with a potential go-ahead run now at second base, hunting the changeup, keeping it fair, and putting himself in scoring position now for Tomas Nito.
And guys, before Nito left the Mets dugout, Buck Showalter pulled him aside, whispered something in his ear, maybe about a situation like this.
6 sacrifices this season for Nito. Mayhew weigh in. He does square to bunt, and he fouls.
That's bad. That's a really bad attempt. Okay, runner at second base. You have to force Josh Donaldson to come in and make the play. DJ LeMahieu is too close at first base. Watch him stab at this pitch. Bat head drops immediately, and once it drops, bad things happen. He was fortunate that ball stayed and went foul.
You can get fooled in a bump position with a changeup as well.
Trevino stays in at catcher. Nito squares again. This time he does get it down, and there is no play at third. Almost a little late to get over there was Torres, but he is able to get the out. And the Mets have it set up with a runner at third, the winning run, and 1 down for Brandon Nimmo.
Great job, great adjustment again. Deadening the bunt, making the adjustment, stayed in the back part of the plate, but this time was able to hit it off the end of the bat, even though the bat head was a little bit lopsided down, was able to get it down and move the runner over 90 feet, putting pressure now on Peralta in the defense.
7th sacrifice for Tomas Nito. The Mets are 1 for 8 tonight, runners in scoring position. The winning run 90 feet away. In Escobar. Nimmo, slow roller off the glove. Nimmo can fly, and he is safe at first base. Wandy Peralta slaps the ground in frustration. He had the chance for the second out, and it went off his glove.
I think half the stadium here, Tony, is also with the same reaction as Peralta. He knows he should have made this play. Did not. you still have to play the infield in if you are going to pitch Starling Marte. You cannot count that you're going to double him up with the speed that he has.
Now, in years past, we would never see your closer in the 8th inning of a game. This is clearly where you would have had your closer in. There's no argument to suggest that you should have gone the other way. I mean, this is all circumstance that we're in this situation.
Yeah,
Holmes did his job, right?
It's about the part of the order that you wanted your best pitcher to face. And with Pete Alonso up, he chose to go with Holmes in that particular lane. And then the bottom of the order, he chose Peralta. Peralta did not make a quality changeup on the first pitch to Escobar, and Escobar took advantage of it. He did make a quality pitch in his last play, and couldn't make the play. Still a chance, though. Peralta with a really good sinker and a changeup.
I'll say this, one thing that I would actually do, because Aaron Hicks has the better arm, with the changeup that Peralta possesses, if you're going to get a weak fly ball, it would be to right field, and Matt Carpenter in right field does not have a strong arm.
Does Nimmo move off first base to eliminate any force or double play?
They're giving him second base.
Starling Marte, another one of the off-season acquisitions for the Mets.
You got it.
You guys see where Carpenter is in right field. My question to you would be, why have him that deep? If the ball's hit that deep, runner's going to score.
And he's taking a few steps in now. Ball one low. Lindor on deck if they get to him. Nimmo did not go to second on the pitch. Marte will win a shot in the left field, and the Mets, thanks to Escobar's leadoff double, breaks the winning run. Starling Marte, the hero tonight. The Mets win it 3-2.
Seth Lugo came in and shut down the Yankees offense in that top half of the 8th inning after they tied it in the top half of the 9th, giving their offense a chance to win it.
The offseason acquisitions have paid huge dividends in the Subway Series. Escobar, leadoff double, big home run last night. Starling Marte, RBI single to win it. Max Scherzer, 7 great innings tonight.
Starling Marte, an electric player, and a jolt of electricity into this rivalry. A playoff atmosphere and a difference maker type player coming up big in a big spot.
Just seems like the two guys that yesterday wanted, the two new guys for the Mets that came in this year, Escobar, Marte, they did it in the first inning last night. They close it out tonight.
That's the 13th walk-off in a regular season Subway Series game. The Mets have now 9 of those. And for Starling Marte, 11 career walk-off hits, most in baseball since the start of 2014. We'll learn a little bit about a player. Max Scherzer obviously loves the big stage. Most walk-off hits since 14, Starling Marte.
Money.
New nickname, Money Marte?
Might as well be.
We'll see where you're at. A terrific effort by everybody involved with the telecast tonight. Sarah Langs behind the scenes with all the great numbers. Eddie Jacobson, our producer. Ben Johnston, our director. Ivan Sokowski up here, helping out with all the statistics. Eduardo Perez, David Cohn, Buster Olney. Subway Series. What a performance by the Mets as they take both. I'm Carl Robbins. Thanks so much for watching SportsCenter. John Anderson, Nicole Briscoe. We'll see you again Sunday from San Francisco.